Right there is my father, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. It's so simple to say, that's my father, but in reality, yeah, he's a legend. Yeah, he's the son of a plumber, he's a common man, he's all those things to me. He was my hero. As I got hip to the industry, I worked up a little courage, and I remember I asked him, and I worded it very poorly. I said, I didn't know that you were champion like Hulk Hogan. And he looked at me with the same eyes that Liberty has, and he said, very stern and very patiently, he explained to me the champion's advantage. He said that he had won the match, but because it was by count out, he did not take home the championship belt. So I'm 8 years old. What's a boy to do? Right then and there, at 8 years old, I knew not what I wanted to do, what I needed to do. I was going to win this championship belt right here. I was going to place it. I was going to bestow it into the hands of the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, and I would tell him, nobody can take it away from you now. And there are many here tonight who have followed my journey, but for those who are new to it, unfortunately, that dream died. It died right in front of me. That opportunity passed. That opportunity passed, or did it? Yes, I cannot physically put that title belt into my father's hands. I cannot bestow it upon the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, but I certainly can put it around the waist of the American Nightmare. I'm going to give the distinction that my family has long since been denied, and I'm going to do it for you. I'm going to do it for me. I'm going to do it for my family, and I am going to do it for the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes.
This is the one and only Mike Hartenbauer. You guys are listening to Sit Down Marks podcast with DB, Primo, and AJ.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following Sit Down Marks podcast is set for one fall. Introduce first your heel host that is always helping to spread the good word of wrestling, Dirty Bird. Next up, the co-host from the land of the rattlesnake, Mr. Team Extreme, editor and producer, Primo. And finally, your co-host, straight out of your mama's kitchen, driver of the grip wagon, straight off a cliff, assistant editor and producer, AJ!
What is going on, everybody? I hope you guys all survived the Wrestlemania weekend. I think we probably watched 100 matches, but here we are, man. We're going to talk about it, man, and I'm excited to be here. Episode number 58 of the Sit Down Marks podcast with my guys Primo and AJ, of course. This is the best kept secret in the wrestling podcast. So thank you, TW Ward, for that. The voice of Memphis Wrestling, always giving us a awesome intro there each and every week. Welcome back. The Undead One returns. Cue those boo birds, Primo. Michael is back, the Undead One. Welcome back, brother.
It
gives him power. Don't boo him too much. It gives him power.
You marks don't know what you need.
That's
Only
right.
I know what you need. I'm going to give it to you.
Brought you back to tell us, man. We brought Michael back, man. We're going to talk some more Undead rankings here as we go through the recap. And then we're also, going to be talking about our reactions to Mania. I think, pre-pod here, sounds like we all got a little bit of a little mixed bag here, man. So I think we're in for a really good pod today, man. So let's get this thing rolling. I want to thank our sponsors and everyone listening on all of the podcast platforms out there, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and many more. And if you're listening Friday nights, it must be on SportzWire Online Radio, right before our guy Thomas Bryce show, and they play our pod throughout the week. So thank you guys for listening so much on SportzWire Online Radio. If you like the pod, please tell a friend, leave us a 5-star review on whatever platform you listen from. We really, truly appreciate it. Those reviews go a long way in helping us out. So it's time to get this thing going officially, man. The Pop with the Pod Jukebox. What entrance music are you going to bring to us today, oh great Jukebox One? Yeah, there it is. The guy, he had a little bit of a crazy weekend. We'll talk about that. But Braun Breaker, one of the new guys of NXT, he is the champion once again. We'll be talking about that later on. So pretty good pick there by the Jukebox. So you never know what that old Jukebox is going to kick out here. So before we talk to AJ, man, how you guys doing, man? Talk to me. Did you guys have fun this weekend? Did you consume as much wrestling as possible like I did?
I almost I had wrestling coming out of my pores, lungs filled with wrestling. No, it was good.
We're sweating.
I love this week.
Tears.
I was. There was some really good stuff this weekend too, and a lot of stuff that I'm sure we'll get into. But there's two of us on this podcast currently that we're not fans of.
I think I just got out of my head. I watched a total between Wednesday and today 10 different shows.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah,
most of those were WWE, but it was about 10.
Yeah, lots of great wrestling outside of WWE this weekend we'll be getting into. So AJ, get us rolling, man. What's going on this day in history and those birthdays?
This day in wrestling history, which is what day? I don't even know what day it is. I'm so confused. April 6th, apparently, is what day it is. On this day in wrestling history in 1942, back when Dirty Bird was entering stenography classes to work the boards for
the war effort.
Yes, yeah, he was building rivets. Lobo Negro defeats Bobby Manales in a tournament final to win the Mexican National Welterweight title in Mexico City, Mexico. Bobby Areola had vacated the title in November due to injury. For those of you who want that translated, Bobby Areola means Bobby Nipple.
Sorry, pop to that. Thank you.
Areola that's a nipple.
I just didn't feel. I mean, I got it.
Right, yeah. I got it too, but I was actually thinking it was probably going somewhere else of that. But either way, I was
right. No, yeah.
Yeah, no, it means
I love the translation.
Yes, nipple.
Layman's terms.
We're gonna move all the way to 1993, where Jim Ross made his debut as a regular commentator, alongside Bobby Heenan at the WWF Wrestling Challenge tapings from Phoenix, Arizona.
Awesome. Nice.
Also, during this particular event, the Narcissist.
What was I doing in 1993, AJ?
1993, you were nursing your first grandchild.
Graduating high school.
You were
That was 1893.
They just called it school back then. They didn't have high school.
Yeah, right.
DB.
One room.
Yeah, one room.
It was only high because it was up on a hill that I had to walk barefoot.
Oh, so it was like a physically high school.
Yes, high. Yeah.
You had to walk uphill both ways to get there.
Yeah, just clever. Just make sure you were staying on my timeline. You
had a nice school marm. Her name was Goody Fishwife.
Don't you bash her name.
You bash
Goody
Fishwife. Anyways, the narcissist Lex Luger, which is my favorite iteration of Lex Luger, defeated Bob Backlund by countout. Hacksaw Jim Duggan beat Papa Chongo, and Mr. Perfect wrestled to a time limit draw with one doink.
A doink.
Only one doink this time?
One doink. They didn't do the mirror spot, which is depressing. We're going to skip all the way to 2014 when Dirty Bird has been in his cold, cold grave for however many years because he was born in the 1800s.
Well, yeah, he died and moved to Illinois.
Yeah. Illinois.
Everybody dies a little bit when they move to Illinois.
You cross the border. True. Like you can be so happy and be like, I'm going. And you hit Illinois, and you're like, oh.
You should try being born here, Dirty.
Yeah. You just came here. Try living your entire life.
I was drugged here against my will.
You want to know what
for the record,
a 4-year-old that's dead inside looks like?
Good stuff.
So, on this day in 2014, my favorite match of all time. This is my number one favorite match of all time. It happened at WrestleMania 30 in New Orleans. And it is when Daniel Bryan beat Randy Orton and Batista for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship in the triple threat main event. Of course, he beat Triple H earlier on to earn a spot in that match. I love it. It's my favorite match of all time.
That match has one of my
least favorite. Oh, the ending where he taps out Batista?
The Batista bomb RKO through the table.
Yeah. This particular WrestleMania also contains one of my least favorite matches of all time, and that is, of course, when Brock Lesnar ended the streak. He beat The Undertaker, putting him at 21-1. I hated it then. I hated it now.
What was the guy's name in the crowd that had the shocked-looking face? He had like a name.
The dude with the white T-shirt?
Yeah.
Oh, that was good. That was Goody Fishwife's
like Taker guy or something. The guy that always looks shocked. But I actually saw him at a show one time, and like people were taking pictures with him and stuff. So I was like,
"What a weird claim to fame!"
I'd do that too. Why not?
I know, like I would. I'd be like, "Hey, I was that guy."
Hopefully, he's made a little money on it.
I saw this thing the other day. What it was like Angry Miss Girl, where's she at now? I was like, why do I care?
Right, yeah.
Did she graduate high school? Or I don't know.
She works at Gloria Jeans.
Like, Miz. Why would I care about Angry Miss Girl?
I know. Like, why would you care about
right.
it? I agree. So that is this day in wrestling history. We're going to move on to some birthdays. And it's a light day for birthdays. We are going to start with yesterday, because there are two big ones yesterday. In 1956, we have one Mr. Diamond Dallas Page.
It's me, it's DDP.
I love DDP.
Hey! Thank you, Primo.
Yes. I was waiting for someone to do that.
One of my favorite WCW wrestlers.
Mine too.
Yeah.
It's like him and Billy Heroin.
For me, it was him and Booker T. Instinct.
I did like Booker T a lot. You know who I hated was Sean Stasiak. And Shane Douglas. I hate Shane Douglas.
You love Das Wonder Kid and Disco Inferno.
I love Das Wonder Kid.
The Ponty Boys.
How do you hate meat?
Hey, fun boy.
Party boy.
Okay, so I don't hate Sean Stasiak all that much. They just tried to give him the Mr. Perfect gimmick. And I'm like, there's only one Mr. Perfect, and it's Mr. Perfect. Like Sean Stasiak is actually pretty funny. Also, yesterday, we have Charlotte Flair celebrating her birthday. She was born in 1986. Today, we have a big birthday. Peter Maivia. That's the only one I can find. Born in 1937. Nice. So I was lying when I said we had a big birthday today. There's one, Peter Maivia. And is that The Rock's like grandpa or something?
High Chief Peter Maivia.
Maivia, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. Who said I didn't know? Liars, all of them. And then tomorrow, April 7th, we have David Otunga, Draws, and Sanjay Dutt. And before we close out birthdays, I believe we have another one. Primo, if you would like to inform us of whose birthday it might be.
Well, on this day, April 6th, about 7 years, actually, it was exactly 7 years ago.
That's how birthdays work.
Yeah.
It is, in fact, the anniversary of someone's birth.
Little Princess Primo was born, so happy birthday to a special little princess out there. And I hope you had the best week ever.
Happy birthday, Miss Baby
Happy
Primo.
birthday!
It'd be Prima, since it's a girl.
Prima.
Yeah.
That's true. I mean, if we're going that route, yeah. That's not how my name originated, but yeah.
I mean, we're all about, translations today. Areola means nipple, and that is this day.
I was going to
in
say
history and birthdays.
belated happy birthday to the main host of the program, because I didn't get to say it last week. The old dirty bird himself.
Thank you, dude.
He's 157 now.
I had a hell of a weekend, man. It was pretty awesome. It was pretty awesome. Can't complain.
How dare you no-sell, no old dirty birdsterd, by the way.
Yeah.
I'll get you later. You'll pay for this.
You dirty birdster.
It's okay. All right, Primo, in the headlines, baby.
In the headlines on April 6th, 2022. This week in headlines, we have, according to WrestlingInc.com, Cody Rhodes is nobody's yet. We haven't unveiled who won. Because
it's AJ's game. I'm just going to
It's still my game. In case you want to know, it's my game. Primo's game, 279 days.
Quit ruining my pod. Go about the segment.
That's my job, Primo.
All right. According to WrestlingInc.com, Cody Rhodes is already a top merchandise mover in WWE. WWE sold out of Rhodes shirts over WrestleMania weekend. At least the ones that were at Access and on location.
Good for Cody.
Nice. I know Pro Wrestling Tees said buy them now because they're about to come down.
Well, because those are Pro Wrestling Tees store, and WWE probably said take that shit down.
Yeah, well they give them like a grace period.
Yeah.
To close out.
Ring of Honor Supercard of Honor that was held on Friday reportedly had over 20,000 pay-per-view buys.
I saw that.
Nice.
Good. That's a good sign.
It's the one. It's the one I buy. I'll be honest, haven't got to watch it yet, but it's the one I buy and watch every year because it's always good, man. It's always good, man. It's always good.
Bexar County, if you guys don't know, that's in Texas where San Antonio is, officially proclaimed 3/16, otherwise known as March 16th, Thunder Rosa Day.
Yeah, we did.
3/16? March 16th?
Exactly. They took over Stone Cold Day and made it Thunder
That's
Rosa
ballsy
Day.
to do in Texas.
Just in Bexar County. Just in San Antonio.
Okay.
They planted their flag, huh?
I have a confession. Like, I've been to San Antonio many times, and I always thought it was Bexar County. That's how I pronounce it every single... It's Bexar?
Yep.
Bexar County.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a stupid
I've always
spelling.
said... like Bayer, but I've been corrected several times.
Bayer, like the headache medicine?
Bayer, like the rubbing cream, yeah.
I always thought it was Bexar. Weird.
Here in Texas, we don't pronounce things correctly.
That's
boy.
true.
There's
we
an
call
X.
it Tejas.
Well,
You say chaos.
y'all don't hardly go to school down there is a problem. So let's go to school and you fix it all.
I hardly went to
Thank
school.
you.
And lastly, Pat Buckridge, professionally known as Pat Buck, who produced several WrestleMania 38 main events over the weekend, officially resigned from World Wrestling Entertainment on Monday. PW Insider has confirmed. Buck, who produced Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar with Michael Hayes and Ronda Rousey versus Charlotte Flair, informed the company that this past Monday afternoon he was departing. The word making the rounds is that Buck stated that with the matches he worked on for WrestleMania 38, he had achieved his goals of producing main events on the biggest show of the year and now needed to refocus his energies on his family. something the current WWE schedule could not consistently afford him the ability to do.
I'd resigned after booking Charlotte Flair and Ronda Rousey and Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns this weekend too. So
two of arguably the worst matches that we had this weekend.
Oh, I can see the look on Dirty's face. He hates it.
No, I don't. No, I don't completely hate we. I'm just waiting until we get there.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm definitely holding a lot of my comments till we get there. But that is it for wrestling and headlines. I'm sure there are many more out there, but that's all you're getting from me today.
Yeah, sounds good, brother. All right, time for the fan shout out. DM us on Twitter at SitDownMarks and let us know where and when you listen to the podcast. We will shout you out on the pod. Cool. I got a cool one for you here, boys. Will from Nebraska. I don't think we've had anybody from Nebraska yet.
Cornhusker.
Yeah. Nebraska said that he just started listening to the pod from a recommendation from another friend. So that might mean we have two in Nebraska, or or he phoned a friend out of state. So either way, thank you, Will. Appreciate it, brother. Welcome to the Marks podcast here, and thanks for listening, everybody.
Thank you, Will.
Thank
from
you,
Nebraska.
Will. Yeah,
I like
from
Nebraska. Nebraska? No, that's Nebraska. Has an N.
No.
Has my favorite record label of all time. Cool story, AJ. Yeah, it is. Fuck you guys.
Go on, I'm listening.
Move. It's called Saddle Creek. Former home of the band Bright Eyes, which is. I'm just going to stop before I turn into a total.
Yes.
Yep.
Fascinating story of this wrestling podcast.
Thank you, Will, for listening to the pod, man. Appreciate it. Pass it on, man. Tell another friend. Go leave us that 5-star review. We'd really appreciate it if you like it, man.
Or a 1-star review, if that's what you choose.
Or 1-star review, any kind of review, whatever you think, man. So we appreciate it, man. Everybody else out there listening. All right, it's time to get to AJ's favorite segment. It is AJ's Movie of the Week. Let's go.
AJ's Movie of the Week.
So, for AJ's Movie of the Week, I put myself through one of the worst things I've ever witnessed with one of the worst people that I don't know her, but I hate her. So, I watched Trainwreck with Amy Schumer. Oh. There's one reason why I watched this, and it is because of John Cena. Have you guys seen Trainwreck at all?
Yes. For the exact reason you watched it, actually.
So yeah, exactly. I did. I watched it for the cameo, basically, that John Cena has. He is so... Yes, Primo, you in the Jurassic Park picture.
During this time, wasn't she actually dating Dolph Ziggler?
Yes, she was.
Yeah.
And they broke up because he was too athletic and bad.
Why do y'all know that? How?
It's just fun little trivia.
Yeah, it's just things we know.
That's a very valid. I'm with Dirty on this one. That's a valid
Where'd y'all pull that info from? Like y'all must have been reading some deep dirt shit. I know that. I've never even heard that them being a couple ever.
Yeah,
showing
they broke up.
We know that one.
They broke up because she couldn't be lazy in bed. Like that was the
like for real. That like she talked about that on a talk show. Yeah.
Oh. All right.
One talk show.
Moving on.
One of them. So this movie, it has an extended cameo from John Cena, and he is so fucking funny throughout the entire thing that he's in. And this is why he's so funny. All of his lines are improvised. Like there's one point where he and Douchey Schumer are in a movie theater, and he kind of starts to fight with this guy who's sitting behind him, and like his threats are hilarious. At one point, he's like, "I will enter you. I will fuck you." And Amy Schumer's like, "No, that's not threatening." And then at one point, the other guy says something else, and he goes, and I quote, "Okay, Coco Beware, you're being an asshole. You want to know what I do with assholes? I lick them." And it's all improvised by John Cena, and it is fucking brilliant. Like that movie is worth watching alone just for his lines. Also, I like Bill Hader a lot; he's in it too. But
you said Coco Beware, and it gave me PTSD from like 30 episodes ago when I watched Power Driver.
So just like a pile driver. You know what I do with assholes? I lick them. Fucking hilarious. So that was my movie. Don't watch it. Just go YouTube John Cena scenes. They are worth the price of admission. Hilarious.
the outtakes of him doing it to her, because Amy Schumer cannot keep a straight face the entire time because she's like,
oh, this is what it means to be funny.
You got me a little intrigued now. It's been a little while, so I think I want to maybe go back and try it. So, all right, cool one there, man. Appreciate it, AJ. All right, welcome to the show, everybody. Of course, I am the Dirty Bird. Let's get to these trophy results, shall we? I mean,
let's do that.
All right, so if anybody's ever listened to this podcast, they know that our heavyweight title here is the Kurt Angle Trophy.
The sweet Kurt.
If there's anybody listening, every time we have pay-per-views, we in the big four pay-per-views is when the trophy gets put up in the WWE, right? So, in the inception, Primo was champ, AJ was champ. It went back to Primo again. Primo was two-time champ, so he was holding the trophy going into WrestleMania weekend this weekend. So, all right, I got a big announcement to make, but first we got to get to these results. All right, so let's talk about it, boys. We had 21 matches to choose from, correct?
Correct.
21 matches from the weekend. All right, so as usual, it was close. It come down one of the last times. Me and Primo came to the tiebreaker. AJ, I think the time he won was pretty close between him and Primo. So it's always been close, and this time was no fucking different. Okay, it kind of went back and forth. You just never know what was going to happen, right? So, all right, so here we go. So, all right, so we had to pick 21 matches going from NXT, Mania Saturday, Mania Sunday. All right, so it was pretty close. We were all within one or two picks nearly the whole time. So let's get to the meat here. Finishing third for the first time, I think, maybe coming in last he got 11 picks out of 21 right.
Distant.
He is no longer the sit-down Marks Kurt Angle Trophy champion. Primo comes in third place here, Primo.
Third place? Not even
You're two-time champ. Yeah.
If you were a horse in a horse race, you'd be taken straight to Glue Factory Wrestling.
Man, let me just say, I completely shit the bed on this one.
Yes.
And I mean, yeah, I got nothing there.
Yeah.
But I feel like some of those ones that didn't go the way that I said they were going to go were questionable. So whatever. But continue. Your win. Y'all's whoever won is legitimate. I shit the bed.
Oh, we know. We know it's legitimate.
It's legitimate. Yeah.
I'm giving it acknowledgement.
Well, thank you. Well, thank you guys.
He sanctions our win.
So, all right. So let's get to who won this thing here. All right. So it comes down between me and AJ. Is AJ going to be two-time champ? Am I going to be champ for the first time? Well, it came down. The winner had 13 out of 21 right. The loser had 12 out of 21 right. Winning by one match, getting one pick more than the other. And no, for the first time ever, the Kurt Angle Trophy is coming back to Daddy. Yes.
Good win. Finally.
It was, I expect a formal celebration next week by you guys, by me winning. So, just let me know what you guys want to do for me next week, and we'll cut out a little segment for my celebratory title.
I worry about this. It corrupts you, Dirty Bird. It's corrupting.
It might corrupt me, but I have a big announcement to make. Go ahead, Michael. Go ahead. What's that?
I was going to say, the winning number was 13 out
of
13.
We all shit the bed on it.
Yeah. Let me run over these real quick while you said it. Okay.
Gentlemen.
I think you were 11.
Well, let's talk about it. NXT, we all took Braun. I mean, everybody thought he was going to win it at WrestleMania. Didn't. Won it next night. Okay. We all got Dakota and Raquel. Here's where I kind of got one up on them. I picked Mandy. She retained. Okay. AJ took Io. Primo took Cora. We all took Gunther, got the win there. The other one that I kind of got up on him was I took Tony D'Angelo over Ciampa. Ciampa's on his way out the door, so I thought he's putting over the guy on his way out the door. But I could have seen Ciampa winning that too. So, and then we all picked the Creed brothers. We didn't get that right. So I had 4. Primo had 3. AJ had 2 going into Mania. All right, you guys got Charlotte. I picked Ronda. We all got TBD, which was Cody, so we got that one right. We all got Bianca. Man. We all got Bianca. We all lost the Mysterios.
Whoa. That was weird.
AJ and I won the Usos, which I think with Primo took Nakamura and Boogs. With Boogs getting hurt,
I would have won.
It sounds like they changed it on the fly. So,
I think they did too. They pulled a fast one during the match.
We all got Drew. We know that was going that way. We all took New Day. We all lost that one.
Well, I'll get into that later.
So going into Sunday night, this is how the picks went. We all had AJ Styles, which we were all wrong, and we didn't need to go to the tiebreaker, which was the AJ Edge time of the match, which I never did get to see, but it was close to 25 minutes. I know.
Yeah, it was long. It was real long.
Yeah. So Primo probably would have gotten that because he had the highest time. So anyway, we all got Lashley. You guys got one up on me because I took Theory thinking the heel would go over McAfee. So you guys got McAfee. We all had Knoxville. And then kind of the last one that helped me was I had Sasha and Naomi winning the titles. So did AJ. Primo picked Rhea and Liv. And then, of course, we all had Roman. But by that time, I had already locked it up. So Kurt did not make it. He is still on his way.
He was sent on time.
Yeah. He was sent on time.
United States Postal Service. Hurry your shit up.
Yeah,
get your shit together.
It's on the way, so I will celebrate. But in the meantime, Primo, I will gladly take Kurt from you on screen and put him down here to my humble little square box that looks much more inviting and warm than yours, even though you got that, So if he was here, he would say, "Screw you guys, I'm never coming back to your house ever again. It's much better here, and I love it."
That's like a rule. You can only do the Kurt Angle voice if you're the owner of the Kurt Angle.
Yes,
right. I'm sure that's what he sent me a letter by pigeon. That we got here faster than the post
he sent it ahead while he's on his way.
He did to let me know, to let you guys know that he don't miss you.
Dearest Daddy Man,
it's
been a fortnight.
And fuck off.
He spent a lot of days in my apartment.
He did. But let's listen here, boys.
Congratulations. Good win.
Congrats, Dirty.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. It's kind of nice that we all kind of won it now. It feels fun. But the announcement is, I'm going to mix it up, man. Ooh. I'm going to be a fighting champion, okay? So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to hold the title until Hell in a Cell in Chicago. I believe it's June the 8th, 9th, somewhere around in there. I'm going to hold the title until then. On May the 18th, Michael comes back to the pod, okay? We're going to play Squared Circle Questions. The winner of Squared Circle Questions that night is going to be the official #1 contender, and you're going to pick against me at Hell in a Cell for the trophy. So this is going to be Michael's first chance at getting a shot at the trophy. AJ, Primo, you guys, start your training, do whatever you got to do, to get ready. May the 18th, #1 contender, Squared Circle Question match.
Yeah.
Winner of that gets to face me at Hell in a Cell.
I mean, do you guys know things like Dolph Ziggler was once dating Amy Schumer? That's important stuff.
Yes, it is. It's very important.
Wait, who's asking the questions?
I will say this. Me, I'm putting it together.
I don't think that's going to come up, Primo.
I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to tell you this. There won't be no softballs that day. So I'm going to make you guys earn it. So
we're going to dig.
Yeah, I'm going to make you guys dig. It's going to be fun. And the only stipulation I'm saying is, for the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, I'm going to say it now, you got to beat me outright. We're not going to have no tiebreaker. You got to beat me outright.
Oh, Champion's Advantage.
Champion's Advantage.
Okay.
I'm putting the title up. So, if you can win it from me, you'll hold it until SummerSlam, and then you'll have to put it up at SummerSlam. But you guys are obviously going to lose to me, so I'll just go ahead and this is a morale booster for you guys.
Whoa.
Big talk for someone who's 1-4 right now.
I mean, the champ is speaking. Hey, Jay, be quiet.
I forgot to mail you the damn whiteboard while I was at it. So
you did, man. I need to, yeah. So what's my count? What are we here? 2 days?
3 days?
4? Something? Yeah,
3. Yeah,
already corrupted power.
I know.
Yeah, but it's going to be fun, man. Yeah, Square Circle Questions, May 18th. Winner gets a shot at the trophy. Let's have some fun with it, man. It's going to be fun, man.
I love it.
Well, thanks for including me. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
I noticed you're not including the Keeper of the Stats up in the Pick the Winners March, though.
Whoa.
What's that?
I said I noticed you're not putting the Keeper of the Stats and Rankings against you, though. Mr. Bird. Suspicious. Like math might help somebody in this situation.
Screw your math.
All right, so that was my announcement, man. Looking forward to May 18th. It's time to talk about what we're going to talk about today. We're talking all things WrestleMania, including our reactions to the winners from the weekend. Plus, it's a brand new month, boys, so brand new Dropkick Discussion. We're going to be diving into old NWA and WCW famous matches. I picked some from all across the board. I think you guys are going to love it. So we're going to start off tonight with Ric Flair versus Ricky Steamboat, one of the 10 million times they wrestled each other. But this one is ranked in the top 3 overall average. This one went down Chi-Town Rumble 1989, so we'll be talking about that. Primo is going to be bringing us music class. Michael is back. We're going to be talking rankings after each recap and a ton more, man. Let's get it on, boys. I'm ready. Primo, let's go, baby.
This is Levi Cooper.
Hey, this is Buck Nasty, Bucky Collins.
This is Big B.
What's up, bozos? This is Trevor Outlaw, and you're listening
to the Sit Down Marks.
Sit Down Marks.
Sit Down Marks.
And you're listening to the Sit Down Marks podcast with DB, Primo, and AJ.
All right, let's talk about some stuff that happened this weekend. Primo, I think you were the only one that got to watch the Ring of Honor Supercard, man. What did you see on there? Like, FTR, Briscoes obviously is the big hype, the big talk. This was awesome.
We'll definitely get to that. There were a lot of cool things that happened. I want to say real quick, the Tony Khan era of ROH has definitely begun. There was a lot of title changes. For instance, Mercedes Martinez became the new interim women's champ. Wheeler Yuta ended up becoming the new ROH Pure Champion. Mm-hmm. We had Tully Blanchard Enterprises launched with Brian Cage.
Yeah.
Jay Lethal with some less than dishonorable acts defeated Lee Moriarty. Jay Lethal is known in Ring of Honor for being obviously following the Code of Honor and all that stuff. Well, low blow and victory. And, after that, he was looked down upon. He had to go back with Sanjay Dutt, who was also in attendance. That was all cool stuff. But you get to that FTR and Briscoes match. It's an awesome tag team battle. Back and forth. Everything you want in a tag team match. There was a fuck WrestleMania chant during this match.
Oh,
yeah.
As well as a Fight Forever chant. But you have your new Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions, which are FTR. Which, by the way, they were wearing Ring of Honor inspired gear.
So it's going to be like a promotion, but not really? Is that what we're doing here?
Already, as of today, it was as of today or yesterday, Wheeler Yuta, FTR, and Mercedes Martinez, who are all AEW talent. Mm-hmm. If you go to the AEW roster list on their website, all 3 of them have their Ring of Honor belts also in their pictures. So,
it's going to be its own thing, but not its own thing at the same time.
Right.
Which is going to be great.
Kind of like Mark.
Like he can do stuff with it when he wants to, and kind of not. Is Deonna Purrazzo still the Ring of Honor Women's Champ, right? Is that what she
right.
is?
Yeah. So that's why they crowned the interim between Mercedes Martinez. damn it, her name just escaped me, but it was a good match too.
Gotcha.
And it's Willow.
Oh,
and lastly, we had another great banger in the main event, which was Jonathan Gresham and Bandito, which Jonathan Gresham had the classic ROH title.
Yep,
Bandito had the new ROH title. Great main event. Jonathan Gresham ends up winning afterwards to really make his heel turn go full circle. Jay Lethal comes out. He's like, you know what, dude? I made you. Give me that title shot right now. Blah, blah, blah. Then proceeds to attack him. Sanjay Dutt comes out. He does the whole. Not really.
Yeah.
He didn't do that part. But he didn't do the sprinkler.
We're glad you did it, though.
But he came out and he looked like he was going to do the whole stop Jay Lethal thing and joined him in beating down Jonathan Gresham. Right about this time, the spot that kind of broke the internet for a couple hours there on Friday evening, Samoa Joe is back in ROH/AEW. So that was
Showing
cool.
up on Dynamite tonight, right?
Yes, that's right. Yeah, in the Owen Hart tournament. Yeah.
So there are two things I saw from the Supercard. One was the FTR match, which is probably my favorite match of the year. I'm so glad that they are a part of Glue Factory Wrestling because FTR, they're the best tag team in the world right now.
Yeah,
they are amazing. Dude, they are freaking amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they're getting set up for a face turn, which at first I wasn't on board with, but now I'm like, I want to see them as faces.
Oh, yeah. My mistake. I forgot to add that Young Bucks came out after the match and attacked Briscoes.
And then Samoa Joe, of course, which I lost my mind during that because I'm such a Samoa Joe fan. And to see him back in Ring of Honor after, however many years.
He was wasn't he the inaugural ROH Hall of Famer?
First ever Ring of Honor Hall of Fame. Awesome. Loved it.
Job, man.
Overall, I honestly haven't seen but a handful of Supercard of Honors. Like I've watched ROH over the years here and there, but being part of this podcast has definitely brought my eyeballs way more into the indies. So I had a great time watching it. I actually took the time out of my day to make sure I was watching that at the same time because SmackDown was on at the same time. But
Nice.
I actually had SmackDown on mute while I was watching Supercard of Honor.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Nice. Yeah, that one's always a big one, man. All right, thanks, Primo, for that roundup, man. Like I said, I got it. So many hours in sleep that I can get this weekend, but that one's on deck here shortly. I'm definitely going to be checking that one out. So let's talk about the Zawa live show we sponsored in Arlington, Texas this past weekend, Guava Mania 2. They had a really good turnout there, some really good matches. Bucky and Gary J was awesome. Our boy Hartenbauer retained the title against Jamie Holly. That was a great match. It was fun to watch that. Havens, the guys really represented, and our banners were up there in Arlington. On the hard cam most of the time, they were kind of moving around, but it was a good show there. Looks like they had a good turnout, and Zeke that we had talked to previously looks like he was pretty happy with the card there, and so we were very happy to sponsor it too.
It was really cool seeing all those because all those guys they're friends now, and it's really really cool to see Bucky and Hartenbauer and Havens and Zeke all doing this out amidst WrestleMania weekend, and it was really cool. I was super hyped for everyone down there. I thought it was great. Good for them. It was just awesome.
Yeah, and this thing's all coming, going to crescendo, I guess, so to speak, to the April 23rd show in Dixon, Illinois. It's their 5-year anniversary show, Zawa Live. I believe it's called Us and Them, and it's going to be a big card out there. We're going to be announcing a guest here shortly. He's going to be in the main event of that card. He's going to be in the main event of the I think they said 50 years, Zeke said, since they had a cage match in the Sauk Valley or wherever it is. So he's in that match. So looking forward to that one. So let's get to this WWE talk here with my guy Primo, man. If you're ready to kick us off, we got a lot to talk about here, man. Let's get this thing underway.
So let's go ahead and get SmackDown out of the way here. For WWE Smacking It Down, baby, we start out with the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royale, where none other than AJ's favorite Madcap Moss won by, not only did he win, he eliminated AJ's least favorite wrestler, Finn Balor.
I was so angry. This is not a good start for me.
Right. I know you guys hate it, but at some point, man, I had to smile. This dude has been in NXT for a long time. He's made it past so many bullshit cuts, budget cuts, horse shit, all that. Like, he's made it so long in the business. And, like, I don't know. Has he won a title other than the 24/7? I don't know. But I don't know. I think this was kind of a cool nod to him. I don't know, man. I kind of thought he deserved it. I'll be honest.
I mean, it was fine.
Yeah,
I didn't have a problem with it.
Who'd you want to win, AJ? Who'd you want to win?
Finn.
He already has the U.S. Championship.
Yeah, he's got his shine already.
I honestly don't even know why he was in
hard.
the damn Battle Royale to begin with.
He deserves to win all of the things. All of them.
In my opinion, that Battle Royale should go to non-champions.
In my opinion, be quiet.
In my opinion, Finn Balor's booked like a non-champion. So
I mean, but don't get me wrong. I love Finn Balor. Right, and I'm glad he's U.S. champion. I just think like that Battle Royale should be catered to non-champions.
Agreed.
Really quick, like whenever I get my picture taken now, I always do the Finn Balor pose. You know, when he's like
a stiff board.
yeah.
I do it every time now. I don't even mean to. I have an unhealthy obsession.
Next time we're at a wrestling show, let's take a picture with a wrestler like that, just randomly. I'm gonna look at you. I'm gonna go Finn.
We had Ricochet in a triple threat match for the he putting his Intercontinental Championship on the line against the tag team of Los Lotharios. He managed to beat them and retain his IC Championship. Next, we had Austin Theory.
Thank you.
He sneak attacked Pat McAfee. Then Pat chased him backstage, where Pat kicked Vince McMahon's door open, and then he came face to face with Vince. Theory shows his face a little later on, throws a drink on Pat, but McAfee's able to keep his composure. At that point, Finn Balor comes out and beats up on Theory for Pat.
Hey, AJ, what did Vince McMahon sound like when Pat McAfee kicked his door in?
Is it just me, or like, now obviously Vince McMahon is amazing, right? And
sure.
But the older he gets, like the fishier his lips get.
I know, it's like
yeah.
I don't understand. It's like
it's
a weird collapsing.
A weird thing.
Why he's had work done.
I'm not talking about Vince McMahon's lips. Y'all can forget it.
Come on, let's talk about his.
Would you make you feel better if we talked about his old man arm?
That's it for Friday Night SmackDown. Let's go ahead and get to Stand and Deliver, NXT's pay-per-view on WrestleMania weekend. Mm-hmm. The kickoff show, we had NXT Women's Tag Team Championship match. Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez defeated Toxic Attraction, which consists of Gigi Dolan and JC Jane.
Yep.
North American Championship ladder match between Carmelo Hayes, Grayson Waller.
Mm-hmm. He ended up breaking his arm on that spot, didn't he?
Grayson Waller.
On the later. Oh, Waller. My bad. I was actually talking about him.
Santos, yeah, dude, that was nasty.
Yeah, that was gross.
Yeah.
Santos Escobar, Solo Sikoa, and Cameron Grimes, who ended up taking that title to the moon. That's right, Cameron Grimes got the North American Championship. Next up. Shut your mouth. Tony D'Angelo defeated Tommaso Ciampa by pinfall. Then we had NXT Tag Team Championship triple threat match. Imperium versus Creed Brothers versus MSK. MSK is now a 2-time NXT Tag Team champion.
That was a good match. I like that match a lot.
It was a good match, yeah.
Yeah, I did not see them getting a second title run there.
No, me neither. But I was fine with it.
That's why I didn't pick them. I was like,
me neither.
Yeah.
I was like, it's time for the Creed Brothers.
Same.
We had another bad business decision here. Mandy Rose defeated Cora Jade, Io Shirai, and Kaylee Ray. in the Fatal 4-Way for the NXT Women's Championship. Gunther defeated LA Knight. And lastly, NXT Championship match, Dolph Ziggler defeats Braun Breaker by pinfall to retain his title.
Are they trying to elevate Mandy? I mean, I went with Mandy because I thought
elevator.
Yeah,
for what?
Win a big match at their biggest pay-per-view.
She's already a champ.
I know, but it just made her like
she came from the main roster.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, I'm just saying, elevator as an NXT champ. The more you beat, the kind of higher your stature is.
I mean, that makes more sense that makes way more sense than Dolph Ziggler beating fucking Braun Breaker.
I agree.
I liked Dolph Ziggler beating Braun Breaker. I was happy. I was like, cool. They're gonna keep Ziggler the NXT champ because honestly, he's the hottest thing in NXT right now.
Right.
That's a sad statement for NXT.
And then Tuesday came around, right?
Yeah, and then they completely. Yeah, whatever. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
So then after that, we move to WrestleMania 38, night 1. So WrestleMania Saturday. Okay.
Let's run the results, and then we'll talk about what
we opened up with Usos versus Shinsuke Nakamura and Rick Boogs for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. Usos retained. Obviously, as we spoke about earlier, we think they called an audible during the match due to Boogs blowing his knee out.
Yep.
That's terrible. You never want to see any injury for anyone.
Yeah, I don't think they called it an audible because of the Bloodline faction storyline. Like, they're the most dominant tag team champion, and Reigns is the most dominant mainline champion. I don't think they called it an audible. It sucks, and it definitely was a freak accident. But I think Usos were going over anyway, no matter what.
Yeah.
Actually, Bloodline needs a female.
No.
Yeah,
no.
I do.
Who? Tamina?
To carry a belt.
Because Nia Jax is already gone, so.
I mean, that's true.
Nia Jax would have been the pick. She's a cousin. So
The Rock's daughter's in NXT.
No, Naomi. Get Naomi in there.
Naomi's
or they can
way better off with Sasha Banks.
Not a girl, but
Naomi's part of Team Bad.
Yeah.
She does this. Remember, AJ?
Drew McIntyre faced Happy Corbin. I hope we never have to see Drew McIntyre face Corbin again.
Well said. Well said.
I hope we never have to see Corbin face anybody again. Good God, I'm sick of this guy.
Next up, we had the Mysterios versus The Miz and Logan Paul, where The Miz and Logan Paul actually won. Logan Paul did decent, and The Miz attacked Logan Paul post-match.
Which means they're gonna try and make Logan fucking Paul, a face.
I read that actually. I read an article about that where he put in his little deal that he signed was he wants to end as a face.
I will admit though, he did do a pretty good job.
He did a really good job.
Yeah. A couple of things about this one. He actually did better than Dominic. He looks more legitimate than Dominic does.
You can argue in this particular match, yes.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, you can argue that. I can say
How did you feel about okay, for real, how did you feel about a non-wrestler in Logan Paul doing the Three Amigos?
Hated it.
Yeah, I hated it, but I'm gonna bring this right back around to you when a match later when a non-wrestler also picks up another win over a wrestler.
Okay.
Yeah.
So next up,
wait, real quick. Second point. One person did call Logan Paul and Miz going over clean, and I have the text records with AJ to prove it.
Yeah, but you weren't in the championship hunt.
I'm just saying, you owe me a personal pan pizza, sir. I owe Dirty a personal pan pizza, so by proxy, you owe Dirty a personal pan pizza.
We're not doing transitive properties here.
I'm taking that piece out of your ass, AJ.
Know what I do with
your
ass?
Lick.
My new catchphrase.
Captain Sano shows no mercy. So Seth Rollins versus the opponent of Mr. McMahon's choosing.
Yeah.
We all saw it. We all hoped what it would be, and it turned out to be none other than the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes returning to the WWE. And he did pick up the victory, and it was my second favorite match of the weekend.
Mine too.
Mine
It
was
was
too,
behind
yeah.
FTR.
Right.
Seth Rollins was the perfect opponent for him.
Yeah.
Like he came out to just a massive pop And
I didn't see the FTR match, but I liked one match better than that one actually this weekend. Might be a little sus.
I agree with Dirty on this one.
I also think, as far as WrestleMania Saturday, this match I'm going to talk about right now was another great match, which was Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair.
Yes. Yeah, this was match of WrestleMania. Actually,
match of Mania. Agreed.
This is so good.
And Bianca Belair took that heel kick to the eyeball. Yeah,
right to the face.
She took it. She earned that championship. If you saw her on Monday Night Raw. Next up, we had Charlotte Flair versus Ronda Rousey, where Charlotte retained.
Woo!
Thankfully,
I liked it. I liked the result. Hated the match
against Ronda Rousey.
Agreed with AJ. Love the result. It's the right move. Hated the match.
Yeah. Then we had the main event, which was the biggest KO show in history, as Kevin Owens brought the KO show to WrestleMania to call out none other than Stone Cold Steve Austin. Brought out Stone Cold. Stone Cold immediately came in, started trashing the set. He told me, like, hey, man, have a seat. Not here to, throw fisticuffs with you. Mm-hmm. But then after he sat there and shat on him for a couple seconds, he challenged Stone Cold Steve Austin to a no-holds-barred match.
Sure.
Which Stone Cold obliged after an audible hell yeah from the crowd. And they actually went like 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And Stone Cold won.
Every second longer they went, my amazement grew.
I was just like,
I know.
Yeah. So Stone Cold picked up the victory, and that is how we ended night one. What you guys got on night one?
Michael, go ahead.
So,
can I shock you three with my assessment of the Stone Cold Kevin Owens match?
I mean, I don't know if I would be
brought you here, Michael, to enlighten us. Let's hear it.
I loved this match.
Oh, that was shocking.
I did.
Yeah,
Here's why.
It actually was.
Here's why. Stone Cold was having the time of his life, and you could tell.
Yeah, man, he really was.
Yeah.
Did you expect him to take a suplex to the outside?
Yes, I did. Because once you saw that taped off, like stay away from this area. Tape,
oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But here's the thing about it, like, they worked a very safe match, but they did it in like a competitive way, where Owens was bumping all around and feeding him the whole time.
Right.
Stone Cold was having a blast. He hit 90% of the fucking beer tosses that were coming in.
Yeah.
It was great. It was perfect entertainment, the perfect way for Stone Cold.
KO took great care of him for sure.
Yeah,
he really did.
Too. I'm glad they closed with this Saturday night too.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun with this match.
Yeah,
I think that I was bitching about them closing with this before it happened, but afterwards I was like, okay, that it gave the night one people a giant pop at the end, which is exactly I'm assuming the night one people are like, yeah, we're at WrestleMania, but it's night one, we don't get the big stuff, and then they're like, all right, you get the Stone Cold match to send you home.
Yeah,
and you're right, Michael. He did. Stone Cold looked like he was having an absolute blast.
Yeah,
and I was impressed with him. Well. He didn't look like he was in ring shape, but it didn't matter apparently because it was good.
Owens was so good in this match for him. He was the perfect opponent.
I thought Stone Cold was blown up in the first 30 seconds.
Yep, me too.
But I feel like the longer he went, the more his body muscle memory started.
Yeah, muscle memory.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like his punches started looking better later on in the match. Y'all notice that?
Yeah.
Like, they started looking like his 90s punches. So, All right. So, anybody else got anything for night one?
Go ahead, AJ. I've got so much to say about WrestleMania. You go first.
Well, the only thing that I haven't said yet was that the Cody versus Seth thing. I was nervous about Cody coming in just because I didn't know how they were going to play it. And I wasn't sure if I was going to be on board with it. I'm like, I'm going to get sick.
What about the
Cody
Bionic Elbow?
I loved it. I loved it so much. And
amazing.
I do think that Seth was the perfect opponent for Cody coming in. And we'll get to more on that during the Raw recaps.
It made my second favorite match. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, Dirty, but I was just going to say, the reason it's my second favorite match is because I was just marking the fuck out the whole time.
Yeah.
I thought it was well laid out perfectly. I loved the death of Stardust. You know, see when
he did the cartwheel.
he was
Did the cartwell, yeah.
You know what I mean? It was like Stardust died right then and there.
The teasing of the pedigree.
Yeah. It was. God, man, it was perfectly well done. I loved that the crowd, didn't shit on him, or not like that. You know what I mean?
No, he had an excellent reception.
It was great. Yeah, man, I loved it. I this might be a hot take. I think it's time to change the music.
Yep, I agree.
Agreed.
Keep the intro if you want to, but I think it's time to change the music. I think that was an indie AEW era. I think it's time to change it. But I mean, if he doesn't, cool. But I think
it had to be a banger because I like his music a lot.
So,
well, I mean, I like it too. I'm just saying.
I know it would have to have that same impact.
Yeah. Oh, it will. It will.
I do have one question, and we might talk about this later, but I'm just going to ask it now. Do you think that Roman Reigns finally has a legitimate competitor on the roster? Because he's blown through everyone else. Like, does Cody represent someone that could take that belt?
He hasn't beat
there's a story there
yet.
Right, yeah, but there's a story there. There's a real story there, as he told on Monday Night Raw.
Do they get to it quickly? Do they get right to it? Like,
I think they sit on it for a little bit.
Yeah,
I hope they build it for months.
I don't think him and Seth are over.
No,
right. If Cody's going to win, I think that's going to win the title. I think that's going to be a Mania moment.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It has
Agreed.
to be.
It's got to
right.
be.
Yeah. I can agree with that. Yeah.
I think it'll be a Mania moment. So,
all right, y'all ready for night 2?
Well, real quick, there's one more thing I'm going to ask you guys about because I noticed it for the first time in Cody and Rollins, and it kind of distracted me a bit. The match was still amazing. It has nothing to do with the match. Do you realize every single time they refer to Seth, the announcing team, it's always Seth freaking Rollins?
Yes.
Okay, stop doing that.
So if you go to, I've noticed a lot of people talk about this, but if you go to the WWE.com website, to their roster, his actual name is Seth freaking Rollins.
Yeah, it's part of his gimmick now. Honestly, I'll be honest. I feel like I watch so much wrestling and listen to Michael Cole, yab, and them stuff. Like I don't hear it as much. But my wife was sitting in the room with me a few times this weekend. She's like, they say freaking in the middle of his name every time.
Yep.
And then I noticed the rest of the damn weekend. I'm like, you're right. I'm like, God. Yeah.
Also, get a little bit of what's the phenomenon called where like something's really loud, but you listen to it long enough that it just becomes normal?
Yeah.
The Doppler, not the Doppler effect, but something like that. So you were like that with Seth freaking Rollins? Like you just didn't realize it?
Like I obviously I don't like I agree with you guys. It is annoying.
Yes, it is.
But that's why.
It's like the first time you heard John Madden say the football. Then that's
all you
can hear him say.
Football.
All right,
also,
man.
Here's it. Collinsworth said, "Now here's a guy." Anyway, so WrestleMania Sunday, night 2.
Hang tight, Michael. We'll let you go. Go ahead, Primo.
You're fired.
Okay. All right. So these are actually out of order, but we had the triple threat match for the Raw Tag Team Championship between the Street Profits, should have won, versus Alpha Academy versus RK Bro, which was the defending champs. They retained in this triple threat. Now, it was a good match, and Riddle hit a super RKO, so that was cool.
Yeah,
for me, I love this match. I didn't throw the finish out. The match was freaking awesome. All those crazy high spots.
Yeah, there was a lot.
Montez Ford, like that big one. Like who jumps that high?
Montez Super Blockbuster.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a good spot. That's a good
move. That was like, it might have touched the bottom of a scoreboard in some arenas.
that should have ended the match is what if I'm like getting what you're saying right, Primo, I agree. The Street Profits should have gone over. That's what should have been the end of the match.
I absolutely agree.
Correct.
100%.
Yeah.
Also, we had after that the women's tag team championship match, which was Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan versus Shayna Baszler and Natalya versus Sasha Banks and Naomi against the defending champions Queen Zelina and Carmella.
Didn't see this match.
I was there at this best break.
When is it? I don't remember this match.
Me neither.
Just to be honest.
Yeah.
The part I remember of it is me going, man, I really hope Rhea and Liv pull it out because I was like trying to win the Kurt Angle still.
Yeah, I think Sasha made Carmella tap out was the finish to it. So no, I knew when they put Naomi and Sasha together, they were getting the titles
because they used to be Team Bad. They did the whole But so when we have the undefeated Almost versus the Almighty Bobby Lashley.
Heck
It's went longer than I expected it to.
Where Bobby Lashley, clearly, I mean, if he would have lost, I would have fucking...
I would have stopped watching wrestling. I'd been like, I'm done. I quit the podcast.
You get an idea how big Almost is, though, standing
Exactly. I was thinking the entire match. I was like, dude, people stand next to Bobby Lashley, and Bobby Lashley's huge.
I've stood next to Bobby Lashley. He's monster.
Almost.
And you're not a small
Bobby
guy
Lashley
either.
looked like a little kid.
Yeah.
You guys...
Dirty, you're what, 6'3", 6'2"?
I'm used to be 6'4". I think I'm shrinking a little, but yeah.
Too many leg drops.
6'3", bottom barrel.
He left an inch in Carolina.
Did you guys like the finish of that match being the flying hug?
It was weird because we knew he wasn't gonna put him in the Hurt Lock, and we knew he also wouldn't put him in his actual finisher where he picks him up.
He speared him from behind.
Yeah,
I did look at behind.
It was strange. He said, who did he say? He was taking a page out of somebody's book.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, they
referenced it later in the card, but oh my god.
When Roman Reigns speared
oh, that's what
Brock,
it was. Yes. So Bobby Lashley ended up winning, thankfully.
Thank God.
Yes.
There was a moment a while ago that AJ and I could not stop laughing at that this completely reminded me of. Back when Bayley was still able to be on the main roster, she was coming out to make a save, and she just gets, like, pushed away by whoever's on the floor. And she's like, I'm coming to help. What? She's gone.
It's the same noise.
Yeah,
it's completely, like, disregarded.
Yeah, exactly. That's what that looked like to me.
Next up, we had the Anything Goes match between Johnny Knoxville and Sami Zayn. During this match, we had all kinds of shenanigans. Like, this match was the entertainment part.
Fuck off.
It was entertainment.
I will not lie. I loved every bit of it.
Michael, if you take this match too seriously, that's your own fault, man.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that I like professional wrestling. And this
I know,
shit
but
on
we can't
everything I
have
like.
wrestling every match at Mania. It's got to be
at
comedy.
WrestleMania.
You know? Drew Kane isn't there anymore despite some celebrity, so we got to do something, right?
Yeah, he would murder a celebrity because he's a professional wrestler.
This shit was entertaining.
You,
Go ahead.
AJ, and the Coastline t-shirt.
I also loved this match.
Yes,
I thought it was so much fun. I was
Hey,
like,
look.
yeah, this is
Even
fun.
I was telling Derry this earlier. Even the botches were funny.
Yeah.
Like
The
it
fact
was just
that
funny.
they botched it, like, makes it funnier. Yes.
I popped for because they clearly don't know what they're doing. Like
no clue.
And the only one in there is orchestrating. You could tell like Sami Zayn was kind of like, I'm gonna be over here. You guys need to be in your spots. Like he was kind of the telling everybody what to do.
Yeah, he was. Yeah. Michael, I'm gonna pin you in a PVC mousetrap one day and see how you like it.
You three are the reason we can't have nice things. I'm just gonna say that.
Oh man, I can't take.
I thought it was great
seriously.
fun.
I loved it, dude.
Yeah.
I was
thought it was
laughing.
great
I
fun.
laughed a lot during that match.
Kevin Owens even said it was entertaining. Come on.
Yeah. It was great.
Not your cup of tea, but I get it. But
yeah.
It took the whole Jackass crew to actually take down Sami Zayn.
No, it took a PVC pipe mousetrap.
And a big slappy hand.
And he got
and a boot on a fucking.
That's Mark
weird
Henry
thing.
and Mae Young's baby.
it is.
Why? Okay, here's a question. Here's a question for you. Why do you need a contraption to kick somebody in the balls? Just kick them in the balls.
Because it's funnier when you have a contraption.
It is not funny here. What's funny about that?
You can't make a movie.
They were doing more callbacks to their movie.
That's all the Jackass movies are. Kicking balls. That's all they are.
Move on.
And seeing balls. But next up we had the AJ Styles versus Edge match where they had a decent match. And then a wild Damian Priest appeared and Edge wins. And after the match, after the match, Damian Priest appears to show his allegiance to Edge. So then you think, oh, cool, maybe new ministry or Brody King said on Twitter, it's House of Black from Wish.
Yeah, House of Black from Wish.
Yeah,
that was fucking funny.
Yeah, that was funny. So we got like a new little faction here, maybe.
But I'm actually down with it. I think it's super cool.
Yeah, I do too.
I did too. I didn't like the match. I thought AJ should have won over. But
I think Rhea Ripley fits in good as a female.
I think she fits in perfectly with.
They buried Rhea Ripley. She's done for a bit.
So that's why I think they're going to reinvent her as part of this faction.
Well, we'll get to that.
Yeah. And possibly heard they're going to be calling up a couple NXT guys to be in the faction too.
And I hope it's an actual faction. You know what I mean? Like, not just 3 dudes, but like, a few people.
Yeah.
Like 5 maybe.
I think they're saying 2 from NXT.
An Order of Darkness of some kind. That would be amazing, right? Like if only
just call
like
it
a ministry, if you will,
like the new ministry.
If they spend a lot of time brooding around, that'd be cool too.
How about the brooding ministry?
Or the dark brooding ministry.
By the way, Edge's entrance was freaking cool.
Yeah, he did have a cool entrance.
I'm starting to like his purple eyes.
Yes.
I liked it.
Cool? Yeah,
that was cool.
Yeah,
so
it was.
This just a little point of silliness about this match. Great match. I actually thought the story of darkness. I thought the better story of the match was why AJ Styles' face was ripped open before the match started.
He ran into the side.
He ran into the side.
Yeah.
But when Damian Priest appears and AJ's on the top rope, Damian Priest is not even looking at him. He's like looking kind of like at the hard cam, and like AJ Styles is like back here, and he's just like he's watching him on TV backstage.
Yeah, like Damian Priest didn't actually do anything.
He just stood there. And then just like, who is this person I've been feuding with?
But it was just enough of a distraction for Edge to pull out the victory.
Yep, it was.
After that, we had our cooldown match that was pushed from night 1 to night 2, which was New Day, consisting of Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods, coming out in their Big E Championship tribute attire.
To do the job.
Versus Sheamus and Ridge Holland. Yep. And Sheamus and Ridge Holland.
I'm gonna start. I'm gonna hand
this one off to AJ.
This match.
This is when I walked my dog, so I didn't actually see it.
This match made me angrier than anything that happened throughout all shows over the weekend. Was this video? First of all, they were paying tribute to their best friend, who is lucky not to be paralyzed. Like, they were wearing like his gear. They had like the singlets on. It was so awesome. 2, they were facing Sheamus, who I do like Sheamus, but Ridge Holland, who I fucking despise. And then they jobbed the fuck out. It was like 2 minutes, and New Day just got jobbed out. I was so angry.
That's the former King of the Ring and former WWE champion.
Just jobbed out in 2 minutes to Ridge Holland.
Longest reigning tag team champions.
Yeah, no, and I think they have the most championships now.
Paying tribute to their friend who is devastatingly injured right now. And nope, just jobbed the fuck out in 2 minutes. Fuck you. I almost walked away from WrestleMania, period.
I mean, the match almost didn't even happen because they got booted from night 1.
I would have rather have it not happen than the result that happened. Yeah, I was so angry.
I didn't care.
Like I said, I didn't see it. By the time I came back, it was we were ready for the Pat McAfee versus Austin Theory match, which Pat McAfee came out to. But if Seven Nation Army by White Stripes is a very well known song. Very smart to use that because you're going to get crowd interaction. It was awesome. Like, I probably watched that entrance between then and now, I don't know, at least 5 times. And because
I was shocked because like Primo, we were chatting with Brent from A Work in Progress, and we were like, I cannot believe Vince McMahon actually paid for the rights to this song.
Yes,
and it was worth every penny. It did.
I thought that exact thing.
Absolutely.
Vince McMahon famously does not license music.
That's right.
No,
yeah.
But
shout out to AWI Pod.
Couldn't have been cheap.
By the way. So Pat McAfee comes out, by the way, introduced by the best cheerleaders in the NFL. he comes out, he beats Austin Theory.
We're the only ones left, aren't they? Is there any
I know.
other
Are
teams
there
left?
any other cheerleaders?
I don't know. The Dallas Cowboys are my team. I don't really pay attention to the rest of them. So
Sure.
you tell me.
No wonder you have cheerleaders. You
I
watch them
can't.
instead of the Cowboys.
Sorry. I'm sorry, I have to sit in the corner after the Sami Zayn match right now. So
Yeah.
Good
So
times.
after Pat McAfee, actually, he does a good job. He shows his athleticism. At one point, he backflips off of the top rope, then hops back up there like he's Shelton Benjamin. Superplexes Austin Theory, wins the match. I think that it would have been cooler if he would have won when he did the punt, but that's just me. And then afterwards, Pat McAfee called out Vince McMahon. The funniest part about him calling out Vince McMahon to me was Michael Cole and Byron on commentary. Byron's like, Michael, get your boy. Tell him to stop calling out Vince McMahon. He's like, does he want to be fired? So Vince McMahon takes off the dress shirt, shows that at 76, 77, however old he is, he still can bench press way more than me. And he gets in there. Surprise attack from Austin Theory. They ring the bell. Vince McMahon beats Pat McAfee. The Pat McAfee wins and loses within like a few minutes. And of course, the moment us three were texting during this, we were just waiting for the glass to shatter because, Stone Cold's coming. And he's going to make them pay. Austin Theory sold the hell out of that stunner.
The great
Yeah,
sell.
he did. That was the best turn of the night.
Yeah, the great sell. Soon followed.
Yeah, and then
how dare you say that? It's
followed
coming
by.
up.
So I think what happened with the Vince McMahon stunner, which turned out to be terrible, by the way. I think what happened was Vince McMahon stumbled and he just couldn't get a hold of him.
Yeah.
He was like waiting on him.
Sweaty old man.
Yeah. And then
It's like
of
if
course,
you drop a wet bar of soap, he couldn't.
Yes.
right. Yeah. And then he also calls Pat McAfee in to share a beer and stuns Pat, who also gives a pretty good sell job to him. So, last match of WrestleMania.
Let's do it.
The winner takes all match for the WWE and Universal Championship between Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns, in which the proper outcome happened. Roman Reigns defeated Brock Lesnar. It is what it is.
Yeah,
I didn't expect a 5-star match from these dudes. I
didn't either. No.
I expected it to go half the time, in fact. But
I certainly didn't expect it to be a wet fart of a match. It was terrible.
Yeah.
It was like it immediately had all the air let out of it. Like, because before they started, it had like big match feel. Like, this is awesome. Like, it's going to be like these two guys. They battle all kinds of times, and this is going to be the end to their feud finally. And then immediately, it's like all the air was out, and it's like, okay, now they're. Oh, there's a spear. There's a
F5 suplex spear. We know they weren't going to put on a 5-star match.
I fucking hated this match. Again, it was the right result, but I was like,
it was the right result. Yeah,
I think after all the wrestling I watched all weekend, plus the fact that other events happened that evening to me, but I was just ready for this match I was ready for WrestleMania to end at this point, and just see the result.
And not actually watch it.
And hope that they chose the right result, which was Roman Reigns. That's all I got on that. As far as night 2 goes for me, personally, I was thoroughly entertained with the Jackass match. And the whole Pat McAfee situation, I love that too. I was hyped the whole time. I've probably watched that match at least 2 or 3 times just for the entrance alone.
Yeah.
But beyond that, I'll be honest, I like Night 1 better.
Same. Night 1 better.
Agreed.
Yeah.
So the ending to the WrestleMania, I was like you. I was like, I don't really want to watch it. I just want it to end. But I actually texted Michael and I was like, was that it? Like, because it just felt so anticlimactic.
Mm-hmm.
And then I liked the Pat McAfee match, although when he was going against Vince McMahon, like Vince McMahon just again.
Well, he was clearly jobbing to him. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, so he just beat a 24-year-old professional wrestler in Pat
Who's
McAfee.
the future. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And then got destroyed by Vince McMahon by like 3 clotheslines and a football to the stomach. Like, it's okay, sure, whatever.
Yeah.
Didn't like that, but I did like the Jackass shit.
Yeah.
It was stupid and fun, and I had a good time with it. Overall, I liked night one much better.
Michael, final thoughts on WrestleMania?
March 23rd, this foul year of our Lord 2022. Someone told you exactly what that main event was going to be.
A wet fart.
Exactly down to the fucking move. How that match was going to go.
It was pretty predictable.
And I believe one bird was like, "Oh, let's give it a try here. Let's give it a shot. See what happens with it." It's like, all right,
Michael. All right, Michael. Let's play devil's advocate. Who else did you want on the roster in that main event? Like, that's going to be the biggest. Hang on. Who's going to be the biggest WrestleMania event if they're going to use that moniker now? Not saying it is. You know, like who's going to put up like. Yeah, who would you want in his place? Like, that's what I want to know.
So it's not a matter of the who; it's a what situation, right?
Well, then you can't bitch then if you don't know who you want in the position.
I never said it
you can't just bitch about the fact that you're not happy about the
I never said
you need
it
to tell me
should
who
not.
you want in that spot,
Dude, I never said it shouldn't be Reigns and Brock. I said it shouldn't be Spear F5 German suplex punch. Okay. That's what I said.
Right?
They did do something they didn't do the last time. The Kimura lock. They finally used.
Oh my God! By the way, he really did separate his shoulders.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
And he popped that fucker back in at the end.
Is that what he did when he grabbed the rope and like
grabbed the rope?
Here's serious credit to Reigns. Yes, that is the best part of that match. Is Reigns?
He hit a spear with his shoulder out.
Yep.
Right.
Different shoulder. Hit him with the right.
Yeah, hit him with opposite shoulder.
Yeah.
But you know what? It had to be hurting.
So yeah, super credit to Reigns for that because one, Jesus, how do you not like tap out in real life in a Kimura lock from Brock Lesnar?
Oh, for sure.
Especially when it's actually hurting you.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm just saying we all knew how this was going to go. We wasn't know it can be a 5-star match, but I think this was the biggest match they had at this time. Was Brock Roman was the biggest match they could put on the top of the card. I don't think anybody else could have gave it the luster.
I think the biggest problem I had with it was every other Brock and Reigns match, right?
Yeah,
Unfortunately, Reigns and Lesnar can do a ton. They're both very, very talented wrestlers.
Yeah.
I don't know why they keep insisting on booking their matches this way. They're like the big hoss battles, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they're both really technically skilled, so I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's a lot to do with Vince too, man. He likes the big guys, being on top of the card, and
and they gotta get the shit in.
Yeah,
and that's gonna take most of the match, but it's like it is predictable.
Yeah, and Brock is the biggest name there. If they're really they want to put Roman up there, like with Andre and Hogan and all the biggest champions of all time. If they want to put him up there, Brock is the biggest guy on the card for him to get a win over to do that, to keep doing that.
So, okay, now that WrestleMania is over, so when the match ended, right?
Yeah.
After the match,
when the match ended, and he's holding the titles up. Obviously, the whole time he's holding the title up, I'm like, man, he must have, like, you could tell he's like,
he was struggling bad.
Yeah. But also, were you kind of disappointed that nobody crashed the party to be the next challenger?
Honestly, no. Because, just like earlier when Cody debuted, I want that to be like a year build. Because it is like the legitimate bloodlines going at each other. At
so, I was thinking about that, and I was like, obviously, if The Rock came out, right? He's not going to wrestle until WrestleMania, so it would be, Yeah,
it'd probably make more sense for him to come out like that when Roman retains at SummerSlam or something.
Right.
Or maybe a Survivor Series or whatever on down the line. So, all right, let's move on, man, to Raw.
Yeah, almost done, guys. Okay. So, Raw after Mania, the first live Monday Night Raw in front of fans in 3 years. Since 2019, in fact. Cody Rhodes opens up. You heard the emotional promo at the beginning of the show.
Fucking awesome.
Yep, it was great. Next up, we had Elias returning as Ezekiel. It's actually Elias's younger brother. So I don't know if you guys know that. Elias died. Did you guys just see the tombstone? There's a tombstone. It's Elias's younger brother. He even took over the Twitter account for him. Such a nice guy he is. So he's chanting. He says, "I'm not Elias," and the crowd was chanting, "Yes, you are. Yes, you are." So that was funny. But honestly,
they just tried this gimmick with Mojo Rawley before releasing him.
I don't know what they're doing.
My poor boy Elias. I love Elias
because
so
I
much,
actually
dude.
really liked Elias.
I loved Elias.
I thought he had a great look.
Hey, Michael, let's give it time, man. Let's give it time.
Maybe we could give him like a giant mousetrap or something.
Yeah, next up, what we've been waiting for. What we've been waiting for a long time. Veer finally arrived, and when he arrived, he came on the Mysterios.
He did.
All over the Mysterio.
That's what they said on the social media.
Over those Mysterio.
Yeah.
Veer got sent finally.
Speaking of wet farts.
Yeah.
Who the fuck cares?
Real quick, Primo, I'm sorry, but how long have they been building this guy up?
Months.
They literally
just
did it
for that.
just so it'd be longer than the Emma Lena.
Yeah, Emma bullshit. Oh my god, I was like,
new Raw Women's Champion Bianca Belair gave her a celebratory speech, black eye and all.
She looked tough as shit.
I will say I was kind of disappointed we didn't get Asuka or Bayley here.
Me too.
I actually really like this promo.
I like the promo.
The promo was great.
The promo was great. I was expecting, new challenger appears.
Yeah, Asuka or Bayley. They're both ready to go.
Or Alexa Bliss. Where the hell is she at?
She wasn't even at Mania.
I know.
Like she wasn't even backstage. Here's my own thoughts. I'm reading my thoughts here. Something must have happened behind the scenes for all of a sudden them to call an audible and say, okay, NXT title match on Raw 2 days after Ziggler just retained it. And then Braun came out and won the title. No explanation.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Explain this to me.
Veer did it.
I'm going to have a little bit to say. Once we get to the end of NXT, we'll talk. So, next up, I saw this come from a mile away. MVP comes out, introduces the almighty Bobby Lashley on his victory. Then he turns on the almighty in favor of Almost. But I think, honestly, my opinion, it'll be good for Almost to have an MVP. Bobby Lashley doesn't need an MVP.
Yes. No, he doesn't.
No.
Almost does.
Yes.
I think this is what they should have done from the beginning, though. He never needed a tag team partner. It was a waste of AJ's time to do all that. Do you agree with me, AJ? It was a waste of your time?
It was a waste of my time. I wish I didn't have to do it.
Right. So, next up, Edge comes out and cuts a quick promo and then brings out Damian Priest. Damian comes out and officially pledges his loyalty to Edge. Then AJ, here you are again, AJ.
I'm all over the place.
Yeah, AJ comes out and beats both of them down with a concerto in mind. You tricky little AJ, you. Yep. Luckily, Priest was able to thwart his attempt, and AJ's attack turned into a failure. Who would be, and this is my thoughts again, who would be a good fit to join this faction? Who do you think? We talked about Rhea Ripley. What other male superstar, though? Tommaso Ciampa, maybe. I know you say he's on the way out, but is he on his way up to the main roster?
Yeah, I think he's on up to his main roster. I read a tweet from a guy today, and I kind of can't get my brain off of it. It kind of makes sense. Joe Gacy and his what's the guys with him?
Harland?
Yeah, Harland. Both of them together, both in the faction. I was kind of like,
I mean, that's going real dark.
Sense. Yeah.
And why not at that point?
Right.
That's the one.
They are the brooding ministry of dark.
They are.
Edge was in the ministry too.
Join the brooding ministry of dark.
Brooding ministry of ordered dark knights of the throne.
This is their
in the Black House. In the main event we had, or in the main segment, it was a main event. In the main segment, we had the undisputed WWE Universal Champion. That's a mouthful. Undisputed WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns arrives to the ring with the Bloodline, all holding the gold. They give a rundown of all their accomplishments and say they'll talk about the next steps this Friday on Smacking It Down, baby. Let's get to NXT. WWE's almost over, boys. Okay.
Wait a minute. Cody come out, right, and did the speech that we heard at the top of the show. That was on Raw, right? Yeah.
I honestly, the Reigns Cody promo, those spots should have been flipped. Like, Reigns should have started the show. Cody should have ended with that promo. Because everything else after Cody's promo was just...
Yeah. This was great. I laughed, though. Did y'all see Cody laugh? They fucked his pyro up.
Yes.
Right off the bat. He just kind of, laughed.
Yeah. I liked the star that left him in the dust line. I thought that was great.
Yeah. That was good.
Yes. I do, yeah. So it's like, yeah. So moving on to NXT. Sorry.
Yeah.
Wait, really quick. Is Seth Rollins' face turning? He shook his hand.
I think it was more like I see you type of deal.
I don't want face Seth Rollins.
Let's do this again.
Okay.
I'm so sick of the Seth Rollins character.
I
love this Seth Rollins character.
I love
so
it so much.
sick of it. I've seen every iteration of Joker. This one's not any better or worse than any other version of it. So I'm just so sick of it. But that's just me.
You prefer Joker Sting over Joker Rollins?
I prefer Tyler Black. Tell me I'm wrong.
You're wrong.
Oh, really?
I like equally for both reasons.
Tyler Black is in there. He's in there.
Tyler Black was like a legitimate wrestler.
He's an element. Tyler Black is who swung the championship at WrestleMania over his head.
Yeah.
Yeah. You mean the one everyone loves?
Yes.
I just love Seth Rollins, period.
Yeah, I really do.
He's a great worker. His gimmicks are garbage.
I love Colby Lopez there. How about that?
There you look at you.
That's a good way to go. Let's get a little deep dive on that.
Already training.
Yeah.
All right, so NXT recap. Let's get to it. The new NXT champion, Braun Breaker, I guess, comes out to a mixed crowd. Half of them chanting, "We want Ziggler," and I gotta say, I had to agree with them.
This crowd was nuts,
some of them were going, "We want Ziggler." The other ones were going, "No, we don't."
Yeah.
I would be on the no, we don't side.
Then Imperium came out, and the ring general Gunther challenged Braun to a match. Braun said, "Oh, you know what? We'll just fight tonight in the main event." So that's
sure.
Okay.
And it begins.
Possible dissension in Imperium as Martel Barthel was left alone in the match to be defeated by the Creed brothers. After the match, the Creed brothers are attacked by two ninjas with steel chairs, who turned out to be none other than former NXT UK tag team champions, Pretty Deadly.
Yeah.
They have beautiful hair, by the way.
Yeah, and I don't know if you guys seen them before, but I haven't watched a whole lot of NXT UK, but the time when I was kind of watching, and these were kind of the guys that I watched, and I thought was pretty interesting. So I was kind of cool. Kind of made me pop a little bit to see them there.
That's pretty cool.
Nobody knew who they were, really.
Right.
I'm surprised there wasn't a "Who are you" chant, but
this crowd was raucous. They were asking. So, and it's literally what I put here after this was, okay, I figured out at this point the crowd is just being a bunch of assholes. When Cameron Grimes came out and received a "You deserve it, no you don't" chant.
Right. Yes.
Again, I would be on the no, you don't. So
Agreed.
So Cameron Grimes, wild man Cameron Grimes, gives a celebratory promo with a suit on, hair pulled back, and a fresh beard trim. And then he's interrupted by youngest Uso, Solo Sikoa, looking to be the first challenger for that North American Championship. So there you go for that. For once, they didn't chant Usos when he was out there.
Maybe they just muted it.
Maybe.
What if they did that thing where they just stood up and turned around and crossed their arms to it?
Gigi Dolan and JC Jane of Toxic Attraction defeat Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai to recapture their women's tag team championships.
Sure.
Okay. Sure.
Tony D'Angelo arrives fresh off his victory from Tommaso Ciampa. He has a ceremony making him the Don of NXT. He now wears a ring on his pinky like MJF.
The Don.
And in
that
the main
was my
event,
reaction to everything. Sure.
And in the main event, Braun Breaker defeated Gunther to retain his NXT championship. After the match, dude, if there would have been another NXT title change, like, I would have lost it because I was already pretty angry at this point.
Yeah.
After the match, Rick Steiner comes over the Tron. Like, this was kind of fresh and to see this story. After the match, Rick Steiner comes over the Tron. He's like, "I'm so proud of you, son. Good job in your match," which is a weird thing to say when you're kidnapped. But he appears to have been kidnapped and put in a cage by Joe Gacy and Harland as NXT goes off the air. So cool story they're building there. That's not what I would say if I was kidnapped, but I would immediately be like, "Please help me! I've been kidnapped."
Call the authorities.
But instead, he was really proud. He wanted to let them know. Here's my rant, real quick. I'll make it very quick. They've already undone about half of Stand and Deliver.
Yes, immediately. Why? What was the point of Stand and Deliver then?
Yeah, that's your rant.
I didn't want to go too long. We've already been going a while on the WWE. We need to get to AEW.
I was like looking forward to that though.
I know. I was gonna go longer, but we need to get to AJ.
Yeah, I mean they did.
They ended the main title. They undid the women's tag titles. We know that the other tag titles are probably going to be vacated. So I mean, what the hell?
Yeah. One note I have about that is no one could really kidnap Rick Steiner if he didn't want to go. It's Rick Steiner. He would fatter those two.
Right.
That's one thing I didn't mention was we had the Hall of Fame and it was cool. Undertaker gave a great speech.
He looked great. He looked great too.
He did.
He looked in good shape.
Yeah, that black hair dye really works.
Yes.
Does it?
Yep. Quick thoughts on Nikita Lyons.
Hell yeah.
I don't know what. I don't know what they're doing with it right now.
Me too. Huh?
I don't know what they're going for here.
I mean, I don't. You watched the match?
What do you mean going for? She's only wrestled like a couple times. We're being introduced to her, Michael. We're not doing anything yet. Why do we have to jump?
She's only been there like a month.
Yeah.
Sure. Come talk to me when she wrestles the bear.
Sure.
Just
then I'll
watch
have
and
thoughts.
enjoy.
By the way, I watched that too.
Watch and enjoy. Yeah, I know, right?
But Nikita
last
Lyons.
thing I thought was funny was the crowd chanted, "This is boring" during the Don's Inception or whatever you call it. And
I would have joined.
Chanted that was stupid after the Index Doja match ended in double DQ. So
That was so stupid. I didn't count my notes.
I was just saying this crowd was like over the top, man. So
There
all right, so that is a long week of WWE. Michael's here to give us the Undead Rankings for WWE, sir.
All right, so for your main roster on your WWE side, because it was kind of all over the place, but as we're doing this after Mania, we're doing fresh storylines. We're doing everyone goes back to zero, so everyone's got a fighting chance to get back into it. Sorry, Omos, but you have to go back to zero with everybody else.
Aww.
To the back of the line.
All the way back.
But it's funny, he actually gets a leg up now because he's with MVP, who's a great manager. So, kayfabe-wise, he's pretty damn powerful still. But anyway, your actual tie right now. You have a tie for the 5 strongest at the moment. You got Sasha Banks and Naomi coming in with tag team belts, picking up the win on Monday. Then you have the Usos also coming in as the champs, picking up another win.
Also
so our Raw Tag Team champs ate the big L, so they don't go anywhere up. Poor Finn Balor continues to just take pinfall after pinfall after pinfall.
I don't want to talk about it. Leave him out of this.
Yeah, he's not being booked very well at all. But sorry, I said tied for 5. That's the tied for 4. Your 2 tag team champion teams are your strongest in WWE right now. Sasha Banks, Naomi, and the Usos. So actually, 3 of them are related. There you go.
Nice.
That's fair.
Yeah, I like that.
So that's your main roster. Well done to all the tag team champs. Usos, I think, are looking great. That is who I'd have my money on for a while if you're a betting fella.
Sure.
NXT, it's a no contest. Braun Breaker is your strongest on the roster.
Oh yeah, that's not surprising.
Yeah, he's the champ. He just beat Gunther, who is arguably one of the very top contenders for that belt. Yeah, then he got like Dexter and Duke, the double count out. Sure, all right.
Yeah.
The only other person who's tied for it is you've got Toxic Attraction, who just picked up the belts. but they're not on any kind of streak where Breaker is now, and Nikita Lyons. So there you go.
I have no thoughts on her.
Very nice. Very nice. All right. Well, that's appreciate those rankings there, Michael, for WWE. AJ, we got AEW, man. Some Dynamite and Rampage, sir. What happened on there last week?
We will start with AEW Dynamite. Kick off the show with CM Punk versus Max Caster. This is both the most I've ever liked Max Caster, and I still hate him as much as ever because of fucking course he made a goddamn Will Smith. Like, go fuck yourself. I'm just going to move on from it because Jesus Christ, you're a tool.
We didn't hear any of those last week, did we?
Yeah, no, that was totally fresh fucking material. Like,
AJ,
fuck off.
I just got this great advice. Just enjoy it. Just sit back and enjoy it.
Just let it ride.
Don't think about it. Just enjoy it.
Fuck off. However, I did enjoy the match. He looked really good in the ring. CM Punk made him look really good. Yeah. But CM Punk got the win, of course.
Listen.
Oh, I fucking hate him. Afterwards, FTR further teased their face turn. I think it's coming, and I look forward to it.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I did like Tony Schiavone being like, because he just totally took the piss out of fucking Max Caster. And he was like, I wondered how long it would take to get a Will Smith reference. Didn't wait too long, did he? Like, just completely shitting on Max Caster.
I don't know if I like FTR face. I like them leading the match as heel. Like, I don't think you get those great tag team matches without them leading it as heel.
See, I think they're going to give something up because they're fantastic heels. So I think they are going to give something up, and I think they're going to gain something as well. It won't be like it'll be a trade-off where it'll be one awesome thing for another awesome thing because they're that good.
They are that good. Don't get me wrong. They are absolutely that good. It'll be interesting to see what happens. That's why I agree with you. It'll be interesting to see.
Up next, I want to talk about Jon Moxley against Jay Lethal, which in a fantastic match.
This was good.
Mm-hmm. Which you expected it to be good, but these two guys just blew it out of the goddamn water. Jay Lethal got in a lot more offense than I thought he would, which was nice. And then Moxley, of course, got the win, but it wasn't an easy win. So that was awesome. Then we had FTR versus the Gun Club, which further they're going to be faced really soon. And
damn them.
Also, I mentioned their opponent, which those words meant nothing to me because those are just words put together. I don't know what a Gun Club is. So we're going to move on.
You want to call them ass boys?
I'm sorry, that makes no sense. Michael, for your benefit, I will skip the Jericho Appreciation Society.
Get back here.
He's got something to say.
I'll let the Nikita Lyons stuff slide. This shit right here, hang on a second.
Go for it.
So he's the sports entertainer now, right?
Yes.
What would you call a wrestling dinosaur?
See, he's not actually
No.
But they don't bill him from straight from the Jurassic period.
No. He's from Jurassic Express.
Where do they know him from?
That's the name of the team, though.
What would you call whatever the hell Danhausen is?
Okay. All right. So yes, he did try to put a curse on, but see, the curse didn't work.
Hook.
No, the curse didn't hook.
If he was in WWE and he tried to curse Hook, then Hook would be under voodoo powers. Instead, since this is wrestling and not sports entertainment, Hook was just like, "What the fuck are you doing, man? Like, I'm fine." He tries the curse again, and again it fails. So it doesn't. It's not wrestling. He doesn't have voodoo powers.
What would you call whatever the Dark Order is?
Yeah, a bunch of guys hanging out. One of them being Hungy. All I'm saying is that there's a distinct difference. Like, this parody is great, and yes, they need to wrestle more like sports entertainers instead of professional wrestlers, but I think it's great. This segment was great because, it had Eddie Kingston back, who is awesome. Mm-hmm. So I was glad to see that.
Here's a question for you. Let me throw this out there. Would you rather watch a Ric Flair Arn Anderson tag team match or a Jurassic Express match?
Who are Rick and Arn up against?
Does not matter at all.
Sure does, because if they're up against the Killer Bees, yeah, sign me up for that fucking match. If they're up against the Bushwhackers, no, fuck off.
Let's put them both against the Bushwhackers.
Then I will go pee. I will go make a bacon sandwich. Even
I
if
believe
I
I've made my point. Thank you.
What point? There's no point there. Like, it's the Jurassic Express. Here's the difference. The Ultimate Warrior was billed from parts unknown. Gold Dust. Where was Gold Dust billed as?
Hollywood.
From? Which, fuck off. He's Gold Dust.
That's a place.
The outside of the outside of your window or something.
That was 7.
But let's go. Yeah. No, that was Black Rain. Was from the
Black Rain was in the deepest, darkest parts of your mind.
But let's stick with Ultimate Warrior. Was billed from parts unknown. Fuck off. Again, Jurassic Express. Luchasaurus isn't built from the Triassic period of Pangea. Like, he's not built from Pangea. He's built from like fucking Cincinnati or some bullshit.
California.
By your own admission, you were a massive Ultimate Warrior mark.
No, I fucking hate Ultimate Warrior.
I have it on recording here on this podcast that you loved the Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah, when I was 5. It was great when I was 5.
So why is that different than the gimmicky super... What is Orange Cassidy? What is Orange Cassidy? Is he a pro wrestler?
He's sleepy all the time.
Is he a pro wrestler? Or is he a sports entertainer?
He's a pro wrestler. He does pro wrestling moves. He can't help it that he's...
All right, man. All right.
Okay, just because his disposition is one of fucking nonchalance, that doesn't make him a sports entertainer. That's just him as a person. He's nonchalant about it. He's like, yeah, whatever. Here I am.
If I put Kurt Angle and Orange Cassidy next to each other, which one would you say is the pro wrestler?
Yeah, but if you put Kurt Angle next to anyone, like, it's going to be the same situation.
I'm hearing you'd rather watch Jurassic Express than the 4 Horsemen.
Okay, but Kurt Angle was in the main event Mafia in TNA. Like, I mean, you can't...
Yeah, TNA was bollocksy garbage. So.
Okay, but I'm just saying, hyper pro wrestler Kurt Angle still had stupid gimmicks. Remember one time when he had a little cowboy hat on? Stupid gimmick. Like, everyone has stupid gimmicks, but that's what makes wrestling great. But it doesn't make them automatically stupid, over-the-top sports entertainers.
Okay, I'll do you one better here. We'll use a live example of this. Would you rather watch Kurt Angle in the main event Mafia or Kurt Angle, the merciless wrestling machine that shot wrestle with Chris Benoit?
I mean, these are just hypotheticals. Like the answer.
Both of those things happen,
but they're totally irrelevant to the argument at hand.
Okay, move on then.
All right, man.
If y'all not getting anywhere.
All right, Jurassic Express is a pro wrestling phenomenon that are on the same plane as.
By the way, quick note before I move on: there are 2 things my brother and I bicker about. One is professional wrestling. The other is Christopher Nolan movies.
Fuck Christopher Nolan.
Moving on. Next, we have Wheeler Yuta versus Bryan Danielson, and these 2 beat the shit out of each other, and it was awesome. Wheeler Yuta looked fantastic. I do think that he's going to join the Blackpool Combat Club very soon. He spits in Danielson's face, which was awesome. And he countered the cattle mutilator. Again, I was like, that's so fucking cool. Good for Wheeler Yuta. Of course, Danielson gets the win. Okay, up next, we have the debuting Toni Storm looking amazing as ever. She enters the Owen Hart Foundation Women's Tournament Qualifier against the Bunny. Toni Storm gets the win. It was awesome. I love seeing Toni Storm.
Primo, who's Toni Storm's boyfriend?
OnlyFans.
10,000. What she make, like 10 grand in a day? She said something like that.
No, it had to have been more than that.
Yeah.
It was an absurd amount of money.
So AJ, how was it? Was it legit? Like
the OnlyFans?
I don't know. I don't have a fucking OnlyFans account.
Just kidding.
I don't know.
No, she's dating
probably
Juice
cool though, because
she's dating Juice Robinson.
Yes, Juice.
Juice Robinson.
Fan Juice.
In the main event, we had Darby Allin versus Andrade El
Idolo!
We haven't gotten to do that in a while.
We haven't.
Which makes me sad because he's so good. He beats Darby Allin, which is a giant win for Andrade El Idolo, one that he desperately needed. And then there was a giant schmoz afterwards, and the Hardy Pop is... Can we replace the Road Warrior Pop with the Hardy Pop?
God, no.
Never.
Not even
close. But the
close.
Road Warrior Pop won't make your dick hard like Hardy Pop.
Well,
it's right there in the title. Hardy.
Probably did when I was younger, but I just don't remember. I had a hard dick a lot when I was younger.
And with that, we will end AEW Dynamite. Moving on to Rampage, which this was a wrestling heavy show, as Rampages always tend to be. Not a lot of storyline, except for the one that I wanted to skip because I hate it. Sammy Guevara and Tay Conti. I love Tay Conti, but she's now ruined, and I hate Sammy Guevara. They are so fucking annoying in these little segments.
I told you, man, they're cupcaking now.
It's so fucking awful. By the way, Primo, all those movies are amazing. Michael is wrong. So
I'm right because I can do math.
So we have the Young Bucks versus Top Flight, which Top Flight are amazing. It's Dante and Darius Martin.
Yes, I agree.
Darius Martin's, but has he been hurt this whole time?
Yeah, he was out for injury.
Yeah,
okay,
like close to a year, I think.
He's been gone for a long time.
He came back like a week or two ago. Yeah.
Young Bucks got the win, and Michael, I will concede this point to you. Holy shit, did they do a lot of super kicks? That was like
would you call it a super kick party? Like what they're known for?
Wait. Before I ask you any questions, is this just the first time you actually noticing how much they do it, or
no,
is this something that is
like
just
of
more
course,
flagrant in this?
Of course, they do it a lot. Like that's just part of their thing. But this was an excessive amount of super kicks. I mean, yeah, you could argue that all of them are excessive, but this was a lot of them. Young Bucks got the win, but the Martins looked fantastic. I can't wait to see more of them. And then there's House of Black versus Fuego del Sol and Dark Order's Evil Uno and Stu Grayson. Fun match. House of Black continues to be awesome. And they got the win, by the way. And then I was so excited for this. We have another Owen Hart Foundation tournament qualifier. Jamie Hayter versus our girl, Sky Blue. I love Sky Blue. I love seeing her on TV. It was not a squash match, but it was kind of a squash match. But Blue is young. She's learning. I think she'll get a lot more screen time. And I think when she does, she will have earned that screen time because she's great. I love Sky Blue. She loses horribly, though. In the main event, we had Keith Lee versus Powerhouse Hobbs, which was just a good old Hoss match. You know, these two beat the shit out of each other. And I really like Powerhouse Hobbs. I'm a big fan. I was not on board at first, but I am a fan. And then there's a whole... obviously, Keith Lee gets the win, and then there's a whole schmoz with Team Taz. Ricky Starks is great. Swerve Strickland, he's probably going to be awesome too. But yeah, the match itself, just two big guys beating the shit out of each other. And I loved seeing Ricky Starks. That is AEW Rampage. Very, very quickly.
Michael, real quick, man, the AEW rankings.
Oh boy, you're gonna love this, gentlemen. Technically, since WrestleMania, guess who the strongest person on the AEW roster is? This includes Elevation, Dark, Dynamite, and Rampage.
I'm gonna go with someone really stupid.
You're not gonna like it. And by the way, real quick, Dirty, I am so sorry. I completely forgot that you told me not to ask questions about
what?
You told me specifically don't have people guess, and I immediately did it. I'm so sorry.
Okay, I won't guess that. I won't guess.
Okay. The strongest one in AEW, Paul White. Undefeated.
I've not seen one match of his
all
either.
On Dark and Elevation.
Oh wait, he has had more than just the one against QT Marshall?
He's had 4?
I knew he's had a couple at least, yeah, but I haven't watched any of them.
So for example, he just squashed Austin Green on the 4th. So on Elevation on Monday.
Why?
I don't know. That's what I was like. I had to look at it. I was like, that can't be right. I looked at it. I was like, oh my God, it's right. They're going to love this. The people on their roster.
Just go ahead.
He beats him with a choke slam, and it's great.
Retire, and then you'll be in the Hall of Fame soon after you retire.
Primo, just enjoy it. Just enjoy it.
Enjoy what?
All right, Michael, quit fucking mocking me, you prick.
I don't like seeing like our heroes just like be just
fade away into nothingness.
Yeah, be relegated to AEW Dark.
Yeah.
I could understand if like he was working with like the younger guys, bringing them kind of like what he was with Strowman, right? He had a good program with Strowman. I don't think that's what's happening, though. I think he's just like an attraction, kind of like wheel out every once in a while, because he's been on that roster for, what, year and a half, 2 years?
Ooh, Paul White?
Yeah.
Been a year.
It's like a year.
About a year. So, like, every, 3 months he has a match on Dark.
After his bruises heal, yeah.
He needs to eat more bananas. More bananas.
Much more potassium.
Get them potassium going. But yeah, so Paul White is your strongest person in AEW.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else you want to throw in there? Anybody else second, third of note?
There was
Kinda
one
right there.
There was one thing I do want to give a lot of credit to Chris Jericho about this.
Okay.
Chris Jericho on his podcast, Talk is Jericho, when asked about Cody Rhodes going to WWE, he was the most rational, like, it's just business. I wish him the best, and, it's just business, everybody.
I feel like that's how everybody should be.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so Chris Jericho, I say...
He's
Chris
perfect
Jericho,
guy because he's worked for everybody, right?
and
Like,
he's got such a deep understanding of the wrestling business. Like, if you want to know anything about wrestling as a business, Jericho is who I would talk to.
Yep. All right. Well, that's it for AEW this week. Let me bring you Impact Wrestling. What happened last week? Real quick. Not a whole lot happened, but Jonathan Gresham beat Kenny King, and then we had the Good Brothers who come out to beat Swinger and Zicky Dice. A couple little opening matches to start. And then we get PCO and Jonah. They continued their feud. They had like this dramatic kind of warehouse brawl kind of thing where Jonah ended up laying in blood. So they continue in that. Josh Alexander beat Madman Fulton after Scott D'Amore told him that Moose was not going to be there. So he kind of went on a little bit of a rampage and got pissed. But next we get a promo from Mickie James. Hardcore Country! And she's talking about what she's calling the mid-Cardonas as Chelsea and Matt.
That's funny.
She's calling them the mid-Cardonas, and then said here pretty soon they're going to have to deal with all this. Hardcore Country! So throwing it out there that Nick's probably coming soon, and they're going to have a little mixed tag rivalry going on. So, all right, so later on in the show, Rosemary wins the #1 contendership, Knockouts Battle Royal. She will face Tasha Steelz at Rebellion. Morrissey gets his hands on Brian Myers finally, but he escapes. And then probably my favorite thing about Impact Wrestling right now, I'm loving these Masha Slamovich squash matches. They're great, man.
Yes.
They're great, man. I'm excited to see when she actually jumps in the mix here and gets rolling. Maybe towards the title.
She can squash everybody but a bear.
Yeah, right. Yeah, apparently, yeah. She wrestled a alleged bear over the weekend. So we get to the main event. The alleged bear. It ended up being Max the Impaler, wasn't it? I think.
Yeah.
All right, so main
alleged
event.
bear is just a really funny term. The alleged bear.
Motor City Machine Guns versus the Bullet Club, which is Jay White and Chris Bay. This was an absolute fantastic match. I watched this Thursday night going, holy cow, I got so much more wrestling to watch, and this was going to be a hard one to beat. But yeah, it was a great match. It was just a pure classic match. These guys are very familiar with each other. Bullet Club wins with a beautiful finesse of Bay, what they call it. It's also a springboard cutter. So that's how the show goes off as Bullet Club stands tall. Michael, give me the Impact rankings, buddy.
So the Impact rankings actually are not existent because it was before Mania. So they have their first match post-Mania tomorrow. Here's a little thing I found out, Dirty. You and I talked about this earlier. If you're looking to actually watch some sweet Impact Wrestling and give them your support, it's really hard to find, it turns out. Even with the power of the Google machine. It gave me 3 different results across Saturday, Tuesday, and Thursday. And I went to go look at Axis's website, like, when is it on? And it's just a blank page.
Yeah.
And then I went back to Google and said, when is Impact air? And they're like, here's NXT 2.0. I was like, no, stop it. Stop it, Vince. No.
Yeah.
Search optimization.
So Dirty was kind enough. Like, it's on Thursdays at 7.
Thursdays, I have DirecTV, so Thursdays it's 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Central on Access TV, which I think is channel 340 on DirecTV. But other than that, I think they got an app or something you got to go to. So, yeah.
Yeah, a special, I can go fuck myself because I should have known, hey, I know a guy that runs a podcast about wrestling that talks about this stuff. I should probably just ask him. You know.
Yeah, probably could. All right, so that's going to do it for the very long recap for this week. We had all that Mania talk. Next week, we're flipping the script. I'm taking over the WWE. Primo will be taking Impact, and he will be covering what's going on in NWA Power each and every week. So that's going to be interesting starting next week. So that's it for a very long recap. Let's get to the Dropkick discussion of the week.
Hey guys, this is Mr. Havens, the Argyle assassin himself, giving them all the shivers.
This is the one and only Mike Hartenbauer.
This is Fake Jesus Billy Starks.
This is referee Dan Perch.
What's up, bozos? This is Trevor Outlaw. You can address me as yours rudely. And you're listening to the Sit Down Marks podcast.
You guys are listening to Sit Down Marks podcast.
You're listening to Sit Down Marks podcast.
Come celebrate pro wrestling right here on the Sit Down Marks podcast.
With DB, Primo, and AJ.
With DB, Primo, and AJ.
With Primo, DB, and AJ.
And you're listening to DB, Primo, and AJ here on the Sit Down Marks podcast, the best podcast for professional wrestling.
All right, Dropkick discussion of the week. It's a brand new month, so it's time to get a brand new category going on here. Famous WCW NWA matches. No two better to start it off than with Ric Flair versus Ricky Steamboat. Chi-Town Rumble in Chicago, Illinois. This was February the 20th, 1989. About 8,000 people there. This was at the University of Illinois Chicago Pavilion. You know, this was a pretty considered a top three match between these two guys. It was to kind of bring you up to date here. At Starrcade 88, Ric Flair won the NWA title from Mr. Torture Rack himself, Lex Luger. Steamboat had just returned to WCW as a surprise as Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert's mystery partner against Ric Flair and one of my favorite wrestlers of all time, Barry Windham. And so Ricky ended up getting the pin on Flair for his team, and after that would demand a match after pinning Flair and would be granted that match at Chi-Town Rumble. So Flair and Ricky, basically, these guys have been wrestling for about 5 or 6 years prior to this. What I think I come up with so they kept saying this was their first matchup for the world title. Technically, it wasn't. They had done it about 5 or 6 years prior to this. But they were very familiar with each other. We see a video of how the match came about. You know, Ricky attacks Flair after Flair told Steamboat to go home and help the missus with the dishes. You know, he's going downtown. So, you know, very heel versus face, you know, obviously, you know, and, you know, so he tells him to go home and help the missus with the dishes. Ricky starts tearing up Flair. Eventually, Matt Suda would jump in to help Flair attack Steamboat. And this is the big lead up to it, to the match. So referee is Tommy Young, my favorite referee of all time, the legendary referee I grew up watching. It was fun watching him in this match too. So, all right, so up until we get here, we got Steamboat's already in the ring. Okay, now I don't know if they just cut that on Peacock or whatever, but Flair, you know, styling as he does. He's in a red and silver robe. A lady gives him roses, which I thought was hilarious. You usually see a lady getting roses in, you know, but, you know, Ric Flair got the roses this time. And so that was always kind of fun to watch. And then we got Jim Ross and Magnum TA on commentary. 3 years prior to this match, guys, Magnum TA was in the accident in 1986. He was in a car wreck that would force him into retirement. This happened, I remember it like it was yesterday when Magnum TA had the wreck. So he was doing commentary now. And so, so we're about to start the match here, guys. What do you got here up until the start of the match here, AJ?
So there's one main thing that I had from all this. First of all, I was super excited for this match because I'd always heard about their feuds Flair and Steamboat, but I hadn't really watched them because I didn't watch a lot of NWA when I was a kid. So first of all, seeing both of them, they both look fantastic. Steamboat, he's got everything you want. He's tan, he's Asian, and then there's
that's everything the ladies want. That's everything the ladies want. The kids love him. The old ladies love him.
Girls love him.
He's tan.
Throwback to the old pod.
Hell yeah. So, and then Ric Flair, he's got the blonde bouffant mullet and just looks like $1 million. Well, so I knew that this match was like 25 minutes, and right when it starts, I can't remember which one, but one of the commentators just goes, "Oh, this will be quick," because I think Ricky Steamboat is like a clothesline or something, and then the commentators and me is like, "Oh, this is gonna be so fast," and then it's like 25 minutes. So that's what I had beforehand. I was super excited to watch this.
All right, Primo.
So I just put down my thoughts here. Okay, so I put everyone should go back to wearing bow ties. I put how did they? Because I genuinely wanted to know this because I was born the year this match took place. In '89. So, how did they do B-roll in the '80s? How they did B-roll and transitions. So I was like, how did you do that? Because
they weren't like walking around with like the powder sticks and like the old timey cameras. You have to like sit still for 10 minutes. Right? Like video capture devices were a thing back then.
Yeah, but they were.
The foam explodes.
They show when during the B-roll they show Steamboat ripping off Nature Boy's clothes, and JR's like, "Here you see Steamboat undressing the Nature Boy. Those slacks are ruined."
Oh my! Yeah, they are.
Those slacks are ruined.
I put the NWA had music in '89, right?
Yeah.
They had music in '89. Why can't they have music today, Billy Corgan?
I know. It's true.
And the last thing before the match started, it really bothered me. Not only did it bother me, my wife audibly showed that it bothered her when JR, instead of saying 1905, he said 1905.
1905.
Michael, what you got?
Super excited for this match. Steamboat, Flair, two of my favorites of all time. So smooth, so clean in everything they do. Yeah. They're both master wrestlers, master storytellers. Super excited for the match to start. They both looked awesome. Steamboat's got the green pants on. Flair's got the red trunks, the classic Flair red.
Outfits, yeah.
They look like Christmas together.
Just classic, solid wrestlers about to put on a fucking world-class just program. I can't wait for it. So
yep. All right, so quick start for Steamboat to start the match. Flair fights back. They went back and forth a lot, throughout this match. Beautiful drop kicks, hip toss, arm drags by Ricky. What we're used to seeing, all the time from him. Ricky's one of those guys like Bret Hart. When wrestlers are looking for film to study, these are the guys that they, look at, and Steamboat's one of those guys. All right, so Flair in his red short, classic RF on the boots, too. I wanted to mention that. I thought it was funny they kept talking about the damn Chicago Bears that were sitting ringside. This was '89, 4 years removed from them winning the Super Bowl, but to hear them talk, they act like, they just won it yesterday. Like, oh my God, it's the Bears.
They're talking about Coach Ditka and all that stuff.
Right,
When it was a full, 4 years before?
Yeah. So, but they always, highlighted the celebrities there. So it made it seem like a big deal. I love Tommy Young's reactions to the hits they were giving each other. Rick, when they would chop each other, Tommy would sell like, ooh, like you making faces and stuff throughout. So that was good. So the match starts to pick up. They go outside the ring, more chops. There's some eye pokes involved with Flair, of course, as Jim Ross constantly reminds us throughout this match that you're watching the best pro wrestling on the planet, folks.
Right.
World Championship Wrestling, constantly, like every other move I could say. And here comes Jim Ross saying, "You're watching the best wrestling." All right, so right before the finish, we see the flipping turnbuckle spot from Flair, who flips over the turnbuckle. You know, when I say flipping, I don't mean in place of fucking. I mean when he actually flips over the turnbuckle spot from Flair. Yeah. So he flips over the turnbuckle, does his normal stuff, and then runs, across the apron to the other turnbuckle and does a crossbody on Steamboat, but he reverses it to a pin attempt that Flair spins into a figure four, which I thought was, you don't do these moves, right, Michael, unless you're super familiar with each other. And they made it look like greased fucking lightning, man. Like they could do it every second of the day. It was just so smooth. You know what I mean? Just wrestling at its best to me, honestly. And Tommy constantly asks Steamboat if he wants to quit when Flair has him in the figure four. Of course, he's shaking his head no, so I mean, just an absolute great battle back and forth. Tons of pinfall attempts when we get up to the finish. Tommy not seeing Flair's legs on the ropes was funny to me. It's really the only thing I think was like really kind of crappy about it. Like Flair's legs are literally straight across the ropes right in front of Tommy's eyes.
Like
and
right
Tommy's
here.
and Tommy's checking the shoulder, right? His checking the shoulder.
Bro, you'd have zero peripheral?
Yes. Right. So that was like, I was kind of like laughing, it's like, all right. So let's talk about the finish here. Steamboat starts to rally, judo chop off the top rope onto Flair. He goes back up to the top rope once again and tries a crossbody on Flair, but he catches the ref too. So Tommy goes up, and so the crossbody catches Tommy and Steamboat, knocks the ref out. We got a ref bump, of course. So Steamboat is pinning Flair, and the ref is out. Flair will then try to roll up Steamboat, and the ref is still out after that. So Flair attempts to toss Steamboat out of the ring so he can wake up the ref, but senior official, holla, holla, holla. There it is. There's the dance. That's right, boys. Teddy Long comes out to make the replacement save since Tommy Young is out. Steamboat goes to the top rope once again, but he misses the flying body press on Flair. Flair gets Steamboat in the figure four. Steamboat counters with an inside cradle or roll up, whichever you want to call it, for the pin. Teddy Long counts to 1, 2, 3. Ricky is the new NWA heavyweight champion. It was crazy, man, because even right after this, it's like they give him the belt and he goes right back to the back. Like no celebrating, no nothing really, but they were getting to the back because they wanted to do this big special champagne pop and toast, of them celebrating with Ricky, the big baby face win. So the post-match interview with Bob Caudle, but just absolute amazing match. And another thing too, I've noticed too, and AJ, you probably, this, from setting up rings and stuff now, this was a very hard and quiet ring. These guys didn't bump. They didn't bounce much. This was like a slab of concrete almost here. You know what I mean? It seemed like a very, very hard ring.
It's so weird that you mentioned that because ever since we started doing that, I pay attention to that. All the time. And yes, I noticed that. I was like, oh, those bumps have got to hurt more than normal because that ring has no give on it and blah, blah, blah. I notice all that stuff now, and I love it. I love it so much.
All right, Primo, give us your thoughts on this match, man.
All right. Remember, a lot of these are actually my thoughts. So,
your thoughts are your thoughts. What?
So, genuinely, I literally write some of my thoughts down here, and they're just out left field. They were introducing those Chicago Bears players, right? And when they said that one of them wears a Ric Flair t-shirt under his shoulder pads, they said, he wears Ric Flair t-shirts under his shoulder pads? Fined. That's fine in the NFL. Yep. I like Ric Flair's boots. I really do like Ric Flair's boots in this. The red on black. I said, today I learned that Ric Flair actually isn't from Charlotte. I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's not.
No, he's not.
No, he's a Minnesota guy.
Yeah, he's from Minnesota.
They just adopted him down there.
At one point, Steamboat double chops Flair in the chest, and Flair continues to walk forward out towards and he falls out of the ring.
Yep.
Yeah.
The old Flair flop.
Yeah. Yep. I wrote minuscule. Nice word, JR. I like Steamboat's side headlock into a pin combination. That was nice. Sometimes I found it hard to understand Magnum TA. I wonder how much water JR goes through. The ref counting Ric Flair outright in Steamboat's face while hanging from the ropes had me rolling. Ric Flair was out of the ring, and Tommy Young was standing on the ropes, right, like this. And he was like, 1! Right in Steamboat's face.
Yeah.
And I was dying. I was like, how do you keep a straight face? They go to the outside to fight, and I said, I don't trust that barricade to do much barricading. JR says at one point, that dragon, he's almost like a cat. I thought that was funny.
Yeah. I wrote that down too.
Flair almost successfully lands a maneuver from the top rope. Whenever Flair has him in the figure 4 the first time, I was like, wait, did Steamboat just tap? Because he was like this.
There was no tap out yet.
Nope, tap out was invented yet.
No tap out, yeah. So, and then I said, okay, the ref won me over with his energy and whenever he pushed Flair back. I like that.
Yeah.
And then at one point, I found Waldo in the crowd. There was a guy with the red and white stripes in the crowd. Double underhook suplex. I like the double underhook suplex. That was nice. Small package for the finish. Surprise, motherfucker. I wrote that down. Teddy Long. Holla, holla, holla. Wrote that down as well. I wrote at the end, I just realized that JR and Magnum are sharing a microphone this whole time.
Oh, yeah.
At the end there, it was JR, and he was like,
yeah.
So, and the last thing I had was Steamboat giving his victory speech. He totally got champagne in his eyes. And then there's a towel right here. This whole time.
That shit burns, man.
He's like, you can't
just use the towel.
He's like, the towel right here. So some hand comes from the screen and picked up the towel, wipes up his face, and then they spray more champagne in his eyes.
Right.
Like, yeah, fuck you.
I wonder if they were like ribbing him, like, have fun with your promo. Come
on.
All right, Michael, what do you got here, man?
Absolute 5-star classic. You're talking two of the best ever in a program that is for not only the belt, but also like a comeback story. Because, yeah, he was the surprise opponent. They got the pin. Fantastic all the way through. Couple things about this one. Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't Steamboat actually from the Carolinas?
No, he's from New York.
Is he from New York? Okay.
Yeah.
What's his name? Like Dick Butter or something like that?
Dick Butter?
Dick Blood.
Dick Blood.
Dick Blood. Yeah, that makes more
sense. We learned that. Shout out AWI Pod.
Yeah.
We learned that.
Dick Blood is a sweet wrestling name. What are you doing?
Yeah.
We talked about that on AWIP. But his name was Dick Blood.
Another thing here. So this is 1989. Do you guys know that 14 years before this, Ric Flair was in a plane crash where he broke his spine?
Yep.
And they're like, you're never going to wrestle again. He's like, I'll show you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They talked about that on the Ric Flair, was it 30 for 30? I think that.
Yeah.
Legendary story, man.
Yeah. It's fucking awesome.
But think about this, though. Like, that dude, 14 years before, broke his spine in a plane crash.
Yeah.
And now he's like taking these giant back body drops with 14 years of age on top of it.
Yep.
Like the amount of skill he has. Just taking those bumps, even though he does it on his hip. Like he was doing it up until his 90s, something like that.
Yep, definitely. Hey Jay, what you got, buddy?
So, I absolutely fucking loved this match. It was so good. And Primo, you stole a lot of my notes already. So I will say the crowd, like the barricade to the crowd, looked like it was nothing. Like it was like completely open.
It really wasn't.
It was
And
just
the
like
crowd,
a rope.
yes, and the crowd was into this match, like heavy into this match.
Yeah.
And I loved how towards the end of the match, obviously these guys are both in great shape. It's a 20-minute match, but I loved Steamboat's chops at the end of it because he wasn't like, swinging his arm. He was like using his body, and then his arm was just like going across, like because he was selling how fucking tired he was.
Yeah.
The psychology was great. Ric Flair drops the knee pads, and eventually it just looks like they're shin pads. Like he looks like he's playing soccer.
Yeah.
What else? This is my favorite ref bump like ever because when he hits the ref bump, Steamboat lays on top of both of them.
It's like together.
He's on like Flair and the ref are side by side, and Steamboat is just like napping on both of them. What a great ref bump! Yeah. And then when of course Steamboat gets the small package, the surprise roll up, crowd goes absolutely nuts, and it was fantastic. I love the afterwards when they kept spraying it with champagne.
The NBA crowds were always very
like. At one point, he was like, it looked like he was like.
He could not open his eyes. He looked like
the old NWA crowds were very into back in those days. So this was amazing.
This match was fucking legendary. It's a legendary match.
I forgot to say that when I was talking about it, but I really enjoyed it.
Yes, I absolutely loved it.
So, they saying, this is in the top 3 of Flair Steamboat. Let's rate it personally from 1 to 10, 10 being the best. Michael, kick us off.
The debate is between 9 and 10. As like in terms of top of the line. God, I'd say it's a 9.5. I know there's like, if it wasn't for like a couple little things, nothing can be perfect, right? Something can always be improved upon.
Yeah.
I would say this is a 9.5 though. Like, strongly recommend if you like pro wrestling or even consider wanting to like pro wrestling, check out Flair Steamboat, especially Chi-Town Rumble. It's so good.
AJ, your rate?
I'm gonna go with 7. But there's a caveat to that because this match is wonderful. Like it's fantastic. And again, I mentioned when I said legendary. However, I give it a 7 because this is the first Ricky Steamboat Ric Flair match that I've watched. I want to go watch the other ones.
Oh, okay.
I want to see how they like compare. So it's a tentative 7.
Okay, Primo.
I would say for me it is definitely between an 8 and a 9. It's another one of those blueprint matches.
Sure.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Just like Steamboat Savage, this Steamboat Flair from Chi-Town. It's another blueprint match. So that's one that wrestlers study.
Exactly.
So I bet 8.5. I'll go 8.5. Yeah.
I'm going 9 because this would be a 10 for me if this was on a bigger stage than Chi-Town Rumble. Put this on.
Yeah.
Put this on a bigger stage. This is a 10 all day. It had everything. You had heel, face. You had dirty tactics. We've seen all their great stuff. Like it told a story. Like this. Like I love it, man. This is 80s wrestling to me. Although it was just under, in 89. But I could watch these guys wrestle all day long, and this was awesome. So looking forward to next week, boys. We're going to watch a little tag team action. Going back to, let's see, where is it? We're going back to April 13th. I'm sorry, the Wrestle War 1990, Rock and Roll Express versus the Midnight Express. Classic rivalry back then. So that was going to be interesting. So that's going to do it for the Dropkick Discussion of the week. Primo, it's time to play Music Class.
We finally got to use the music.
Absolutely. Yay. Are you boys ready for some music class? Last time it got postponed. I have been ready for a long time. As you know, the name of the game is Music Class. I'm your host, Primo. Our challengers today are DB, Undead Maggle, and AJ himself. So, let's get to it. We got 5 wrestling entrance songs. Keep in mind, they could be women, tag teams, or factions. We play in decreasing time limits in 10, 8, 6, 4, and 2, respectively. The longer the song is, the higher the difficulty of the song. Are you ready?
No,
I'm ready.
I get obliterated by DB at this every single time I do this.
Let's see if I can keep the streak going. I'm excited to play.
I'm rooting for you, man.
Dirty, when was the last time you lost one of these?
I don't think I've ever seen him lose.
I know. I won one of them.
DB's pretty good at Music Class. By the way, first to 3 wins. It's 3 out of 5. Or most wins. Most points wins. Are you ready for your first song at 10 seconds? First to answer gets the point. Let's go.
Liv Morgan.
Oh, that goes to Michael.
Alan.
Undead Michael with the Liv Morgan.
Okay.
So good job, Michael. Moving on to our 8-second round. Next up, 8 seconds.
Chad Gable. American Alpha.
Alpha Academy.
Correct.
Lanny.
I would accept any of those.
Okay.
Correct
Lanny.
with Alpha Academy, Chad Gable, all that.
Why am I so fucking bad at this?
So we have 1-1, 1 DB, 1 Undead Maggle. Moving on to our 6-second round. Are you ready, AJ? Just be ready to answer. You can get this. I believe in you.
Okay. Papa Shango.
Usos.
DB with the 6 seconds. All right. So, obviously,
Sorry, I was getting carried away.
It gets easier as we get into less time frames here. 4-second time frame. So that's 2 DB, 1 Undead Maggle.
1 Papa Shango.
Papa Shango. 0 for the Godfather. Right. 4 seconds. Are you ready?
Let's go. Drew McIntyre! Boom!
I actually knew
Shakalaka!
that one too. God fucking.
That's right. It's Drew McIntyre for 4 seconds. I forgot to preface.
And still.
Here's our 2 second. 2 second.
I'm a hummingbird.
2 second. Last one. Let's see if you can get it. Anybody?
Vince McMahon! Come on. I'm the champ, boys.
All right. For no points at all, does anybody know what any of these had in common?
Real quick.
They were all written by Kid Johnson.
I'm going to say CFO wrote them all.
No guess.
Y'all are thinking too deep for one.
They're all on WWE.
They're all from WrestleMania this past weekend.
Oh, gotcha.
I noticed Alexa Bliss's music wasn't in here.
Yep.
No, the closest I got was Liv Morgan.
It's pretty close, actually.
Different blonde, yeah.
Put your hands down.
Good job, thank you, Dirty Bird. Let's get you some clapping sounds here. Give me a couple seconds.
If you will.
And...
Stop. You guys are terrible. No. And still, baby.
Okay, so Dirty Bird's not only is he the sit-down Marks pay-per-view champion, but he's also the current reigning and defending music class champion.
Whose game is it? It's my game, literally, baby.
Hold on, Avery. Let me get this for you correct. Whose game is it?
Dirty Birds game, baby. 4 days of your Kurt Angle champion. The all-time Primo's Music Class, undefeated, undisputed.
He's got the big belt. He's got the big belt and the mid-card belt.
Yep.
Wait a minute, you're already adding days to your championship reign.
He doesn't even have it yet. He's already got it.
Yeah.
AJ went from like 400 down to 200 up to like 7.
I was all over the place with mine.
Oh, man. Good stuff, man.
I love
Good
it.
stuff. Oh, that was fun, boys. That was
If you're
fun.
going to be a heel, adding days to the reign is the way to do it.
Yes.
I love it.
Yep, definitely is. All right, guys. I think it's time to move on here. Let's get to the UFC picks, man. It's we didn't have any picks last week, so we got a big card this weekend, AJ. So let's bring everybody up to speed. You're 42 and 42, currently sitting 500.
Perfectly average.
Yep, we have changed now to where you pick the main event of the weekend. All right, let's talk about it, AJ. Here we go. UFC 273 going down Saturday night for the featherweight title. The champion, Alexander the Great Volkanovski, 23-1. He's from Australia, 5'6", 144 pounds. He's putting up the title against the challenger, the Korean zombie, Chan Sung Jung, number 4 ranked featherweight, 17-6. He's from South Korea, 5'7", also at 144 pounds. Who you liking for the main event here, AJ?
Those are some tiny men that could murder all 4 of us at once.
Absolutely. They'd stretch us like a pretzel.
I'm going with Volkanovski. Was that his name?
Yeah, Volkanovski.
The current
Alexander.
champ. I'm going with the current champ.
Yep.
To retain his featherweight.
Very good. Also, he was the coach of Ryan Battle, who won the Ultimate Fighter.
Even better.
Nice pick there. Nice pick. All right, Primo, let's flip it to yours, man. You're 9-6, helping out the gamblers each and every week. Still on the winning side record. Looking at this card, man, who's your pick? We got Sterling versus Jan. We got Chimaev versus Burns is a big fight. Gastelum's on this card, man. Who are you thinking?
Well, let me just say that me and AJ are going to agree on this one. Yes. Volkanovski takes it home. The champ retains.
I like it, man. You can't go against wrong with him, man. He whooped Brian Ortega the last time out, so this is going to be a big card, man. This is a nice looking UFC card here for Saturday night, man. So go check it out. And rumors that possibly a guy named Brian Battle might be there, so we'll maybe see the Ultimate Fighter champ up there. So, all right, AJ, man, let's. It's time to close the show, brother.
Please go and listen to us on any spot you can get your podcasts: Apple, Spotify, Google, so on, so forth. All of them. We're on all of them. Give us 5-star reviews if you love us, or if you hate us, give us 5-star reviews. Why not? What else are you going to do? Also, we have merch. You can buy said merch, including t-shirts, notebooks, coffee pens, coffee mugs, and no pens. We don't even have fucking pens. I don't know what I'm saying. Sweatshirts, baby clothes, and all kinds of other merch. Go check us out on tpublic.com/stores/sit-down-marks. That site again is tpublic.com/stores/sit-down-marks, and catch us live every Wednesday right here on the old YouTubes. The time is right now 6:30, but could be going forward. We'll set it something serious.
Yes, we will. Shout out to Daniel Makabe sporting the Wrestling Genius t-shirt now during the pod. So former guest, man, go check him out, Daniel Makabe. So, all right, Primo, man, give us the preview of next week, brother.
All right, all you marks out there, you should have been sitting down this whole podcast. So come on in close, listen to me real good. We begin our coverage of NWA next week. We continue it actually to bring you what you need to know in the world of wrestling. Our Dropkick Discussion of the week is a big tag team match at Wrestle War in 1990 between the Rock and Roll Express and the Midnight Express. Cannot wait for that one, folks. Promo School returns, and it's from a guy we haven't seen in a while, but been waiting for him to show up somewhere. It's a memorable one. Tune in. Yeah, Marks, I love you.
Very well said there. All right, guys. It was a big pod, man. We had a lot of WrestleMania talk. Michael joined us, man. So, quickly on the way out, WrestleMania as a whole, WrestleMania, let's rate it from 1 to 10. I'm going to start it out. I think it was a 7. I like night 1 better than night 2. But I would even maybe lean towards a 7.5. But I was entertained most of it. I didn't think it was that bad. We've watched worse WrestleManias for sure. This one was all right to me. So, Primo, what's your rating?
I gotta agree with you. I'd say between 7 7.5. I enjoyed WrestleMania weekend as a whole, and we all said this earlier. Night 1 was clearly the better of the 2 nights. I still myself, I'm not completely behind the 2-night thing, but I see why they do it, and I did enjoy WrestleMania overall better than the past couple WrestleManias actually. So I was entertained overall by even the gimmick matches, like the celebrity matches, even entertained me. So that was cool.
Okay, AJ.
I'm going to give it a right in the middle 5. The reason for this is because the stuff I loved. Bianca Belair and Becky Lynch, Seth Rollins, Cody, and even the Jackass match. And the stuff I hated. New Day match, Bobby Lashley, almost, so on and so forth. The main event. So it averages out too. It's not the worst show, not the best. Some matches I would probably watch again at some point just for fun.
Okay, Michael.
I give this a 3 out of 10. I actually wrote this to AJ, and I said I think this is the worst WrestleMania I've ever seen.
You did say that.
I think it's worse than 9, and I'm like AJ on this one. There are spotlights of really good stuff in this card. You got Becky Lynch and Bianca Belair is fantastic. Cody Rhodes set.
That right there deserves more than a 3.
No, it does not. I'm going to tell you why.
We've talked enough.
But yeah, there are good things in this Mania. Yeah. There, in just my grumpy old man get off my lawn opinion, there's a lot of bad things. Again, it's just I'm acknowledging. Yes, Primo. Are you on my lawn? Can you get off of it, please?
I'm not on your lawn. I'm in your kitchen.
Are you making me a sandwich?
Maybe if we might be in agreement in this. We might all 4 be in agreement in this. Actually, I did find one thing very wrong with WrestleMania as a whole. They had both women's championship matches on the same night.
Yeah. I wish they would have split them up.
Yeah, I think they should have split those.
Yeah, but I don't think that's a big deal, though. I really don't.
I just feel like you put those 2 matches on night 1. Honestly,
if they put it on night 2, would that have been better? Because it's like the final night. Would that have been better?
It's when you think of it, Sunday is supposed to be the premiere day.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. And neither one of the women's headlining.
No, they put the women tag team match on there.
Yeah. So,
which was a 5-finger stinker of a match.
Yep.
5-finger stinker.
All right, Michael. Thanks for joining us, buddy. We'll see you back here in March for that number 1 contender match we're going to have here. So
I'm excited that you joined the number 1 contendership battle.
Well, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So you guys can batter me more with your trivia knowledge and your dating expertise.
Unless it's music class, apparently.
Then I'm gonna.
Then only one person batters you.
Somehow, Dirty's still gonna win it. I don't know.
All right, boys. Great pod today, man. It was a long weekend of wrestling, and I think we've talked about it enough, man. So, AJ, take us home, dude.
Dude him, grab him, kick him.